Sam.
Yo.
Play the intro music. Left screen.
Oh, that's great.
Now, you can only play it for like 10 seconds. Otherwise, we're going to get copyright.
You're gonna pay for
Cut
that.
it. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Fun podcast today. First person that's come actually prepared.
Yes.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, John's got notes.
More so because I'm old and I can't remember anything.
No, this is going to be great. We've got Sam. Sam, throw the Sam cam on so people can see it.
Oh, it's on.
Okay,
It's on.
so we've got
Where? He's on the screen.
Okay, there's a 30-second delay on this screen.
But I thought you said it's been on the whole time.
It hasn't been on the whole time.
Okay.
Sam just turned it on. Oh, you got to go kill that TV out there. Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Backcountry BSing, number 74. We've done 74 of these.
Whoa.
How many have you done on yours?
I'm about to post 120.
Oh, shit. Okay, you're way ahead of us. Nice.
But that's over 5 years, so
Nice. That's pretty
crawling
solid. There's Sam. See him? There's a Sam cam. We got John here. We're gonna get to him in a second. First, like always, people, we're at 110 iTunes reviews.
And that's-
do you know how many
that's not
iTunes
enough.
reviews you have? Have you ever checked?
I checked years ago and then I stopped.
Probably more than 110.
I every once in a while my brother-in-law likes to send me the bad reviews. He's like, this one's really funny. I'm like, you're killing me, man. Why would you send that to me?
That's pretty funny.
1 star.
Go rate us on iTunes. All right, first, for my other plugs. So you have 2 podcasts. Well, you have one that's coming out soon. That's the purpose of this one. But you also have another podcast. So let's throw those names out there so people can check it out.
Yeah, so the one I've been doing for 5 years is called the Deconstructionist Podcast. So if you're into kind of spirituality and kind of a progressive bent, I've been doing that one for about 5 years and got to interview some cool people. Dr. Michio Kaku from the Science Channel.
Wait, when you were talking about, so you've had like famous people on yours.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're just too dumb to know better, so we just keep asking people like, what if Oprah might say yes? Shoot your shot. So like, I did actually reach out to her once, and her people were like, we'll check.
Wait, did you really?
Oh, yeah. They're like, she's just... First they said they'd check, and I about peed my pants. I was like, Adam, we're getting Oprah.
You know, there's people like, there's no way Oprah's doing this, but we're going to tell them. We're going to tell them.
They're like, how many listeners do you have? Oh, that's cute.
Sam, hit the record button on the Roadcaster. All right, Andy will get it. I always forget to do that. Okay, but your second podcast.
Yes. So the new podcast that hasn't come out yet, it's going to launch in July. So first week in July, it's called From the Void, and it's my other passion, aka the thing I talk to Andy about at work all the time. It's just about all sorts of weird mysteries, things that don't make sense based off of, what we encounter in everyday life. So UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, yeah.
I have you billed as a bona fide UFO expert, and I believe you are after listening to your experiences. So we're gonna do we have any other announcements we got Sam. So here's the deal, folks. Obviously, when it comes to UFO, we want to watch and see some of the latest stuff. So we got Sam here. He's going to be pulling stuff up. He'll be scanning through the comments. Sam's mic'd up. Sam, you want to say hi?
Hey,
sorry, man.
Everybody.
It's okay.
Sam's been on the podcast before.
Many a times.
Any other things? I don't think so.
know,
check out our merch. I need to be wearing the NASA shirt. Oh, I screwed that up.
That NASA shirt on.
No, but check out John's podcast. When does the new podcast come out? It's got the aliens.
The specific date, I think, is July 5th will be the first episode. Yeah.
So a little less than a month. But check out his stuff. He's a cool guy. But now it's time. And like, I was trying to justify this because we have like an outdoors podcast, and I was like, hey, they're outside.
You're outside.
UFOs are outside.
Yeah.
So okay, so first, okay, so
is that real?
So I actually want to start this by, and I'm gonna
hold on before we start. Sam, can you hit play there just 5 more seconds?
Sam, come on. We need David Duchovny here. Did you guys ever watch the X-Files?
Oh,
that was my favorite show.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a huge fan.
I knew Sam was.
Yeah, and
You guys actually got me into it, as I recall.
Yeah, we were all into Scully. Every guy my age was like, Yeah, Dana Scully.
There's definitely a thing there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, she's hot.
Oh yeah,
She's still
all
hot.
the dudes. All right. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is the events kind of leading up to this.
Yeah, like how did we get to where we're
So
at now?
and specifically with the New York Times stuff from that was 2017,
2015.
2015. So
Yeah.
can you
I'm sorry. Yeah. You're talking about the news article. Yeah.
Well, but you know more about this. So can you walk us through? Because I go on this rant about how like UFOs are real people and nobody cares.
Right.
And like all this shit has happened in the last like 6 years. But can you kind of walk us through 2015, 2016 up to now and like kind of what has happened?
Yeah. And Andy's like, this is going to require some bourbon.
Yeah. Well, I guess, wait, we're all double fisting here. We got Sam some. What are we drinking? Kentucky Spirit.
Kentucky Spirit.
All right. And then obviously if you have any UFO questions for John, or anything, drop them in the chat. Drop 'em in. We did get some questions about what the super chat menu was. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Don't super chat. Right
If you want to super chat, you can give us money. I'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we're drinking Kentucky Spirit. All right. So
So what led up to
the
it?
year is 2015 or 2016, 2017.
It
whatever.
all starts with Blink 182.
All right. So yeah, talk us through what's been going down here.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, the UFO thing has been around forever, right?
Right,
So like going back all the way to like World War II, you know, U.S. Navy pilots or U.S. pilots in general used to see UFOs all the time during the war. So they actually nicknamed them Foo Fighters, which is where the band gets the name from. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, John told me.
No, I didn't know that either.
No. Now, John, I don't want to cut you off, but like after you get done with this, we need to go back to World War II and talk about the Battle of LA.
Oh, yeah.
That's a movie about aliens.
What do you think it's inspired by?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So-
let's go forward
get
and then
into
we'll
that.
periodically jump back in time. Okay, all right, sorry.
Because to be clear, I've always been skeptical about everything. So, but I'm an open-minded skeptic. I want to believe that this stuff is real.
Okay.
Right? But like, I always look at stuff like from the perspective of, legit. How legitimate is it? Like, who are the witnesses? How credible are they?
Okay.
The more witnesses, obviously, the better. And so, like, there have been instances throughout history, like the Battle of LA, where there were a ton of witnesses.
I've never heard of the Battle of LA.
Yeah, it was during World War II.
Is there any?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go through current time and then we'll come back to that because I want to see if there are things to see. I want to see them.
Yeah. So the phenomenon's been around forever, but it's been pretty fringy for a long time. You know, people are like, ha.
It's not fringy anymore.
No. So it got legitimized because there were a couple New York Times reporters who picked up on it, who were having interviews or conversations rather with some really high-ranking military officials who basically said, yeah, like these things are real. We've seen them, and yes, Tom from Blink 182 is.
I did know
wrapped in
that.
this. Very weird, but yeah. So Tom from Blink 182 is obsessed with UFOs, and he started this To the Stars Academy, and it's basically a bunch of guys who used to be involved in the government to some extent, and former military guys who are like, yeah, we've been hiding this secret for a long time. So they leaked some footage from the Navy, and then the craziest thing happened. The Navy confirmed it and said, yeah, this footage is real.
This is in like 2015.
This was probably
like
a
ish?
year or two ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, a year or two ago. But this footage that got leaked was from years ago. So the first one, the Tic Tac video, was from 2005.
Sam,
And then the Go Fast video and the Gimbal video were from 2015.
I've never seen the
2015.
gimbal video.
I have, and I can't honestly remember.
Sam's all right. We're pulling the. Can we start with the Tic Tac?
Oh, no. Go back to Battle of LA.
Well, Sam's okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, okay. All right. Well, okay. Just go back to the Battle of LA and tell me about that.
Okay.
Sam, Google Battle of LA and see if you can get anything.
Yeah. So
That's
this
not
was
the
in
movie.
newspapers.
Sorry.
Yeah. So that incident was in the newspapers, and what happened was this happened after Pearl Harbor, and so of course we're in heightened alert, especially on the coast.
And Los Angeles was like a huge manufacturing hub for like war goods.
Yeah.
So it was heavily
Okay.
fortified.
So this is 1944. It was right after Pearl Harbor.
Somewhere around there.
You guys don't know when Pearl Harbor was? Sam's
I don't
on
know
it.
when the Battle of LA was.
I've got some information here.
Yeah. What do you got, Sam?
What year was it?
This is 42.
Okay.
42.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so these lights show up in the sky, and immediately, of course, we're on the defense. They assume it's the Japanese who are coming full tilt, right? They're like they're gonna invade the coast, and so essentially they just light the sky up, like an insane number of like. Just
they just start like hammering it.
For a while.
It's the most most American thing ever.
Yeah. It's all night long.
Yeah,
Really?
And
How come I've never heard about this?
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, there was nothing that was shot down. Nothing. They have nothing to show for it. So they expend all these shells.
Put it up. Throw it up there. All right.
Going after it.
Sam's got some sort of picture. Do you remember what button to click, Sam? Nope, not over there. Oh, no, he's zooming in. He's good. He's good.
Control.
Ooh. No, he knows. You can also hit Control Plus, by the way, all you Chrome users.
Yeah. So
give it a moment.
No, right. Yeah, it's delayed. Okay, so it's up on the screen right now.
This is the press release.
See, this is the problem. We're watching this delayed, but we're looking at the actual. So, Sam, is that an actual picture, or is that like a?
I believe so.
Okay, so that's like that's what they saw, or is that us like lighting it up?
that's us lighting it up. So
okay.
So those are searchlights, and then anti-aircraft guns just going. I mean, they were going after it. So like people actually died.
Oh shit!
In the process. Andy probably remembers the specifics because
some people died from like flak coming down, and then somebody was trying. This is awful. I don't know why I'm laughing, but somebody was driving their car like just peacefully, and then the sky lights up with like anti-aircraft, and it died from a heart attack.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So they had casualties by virtue of.
And it was over Catalina where they saw the lights.
Where the Catalina wine mixer was?
Over the wine mixer.
Well, Catalina Island is also where the Tic Tac video incident took place.
Really?
Yeah, there's some theories around that we can talk about, but so yeah, this stuff's been happening forever, and the crazy thing is that's one of the biggest mass sightings ever.
Oh, Sam, so you gotta mute it.
There we go. But and there's a bunch of other ones too that are really interesting, like the Phoenix Lights.
I've heard about that one.
That was like late '90s, like I think 1997 or something like that. There were thousands of witnesses to that one too, including the governor, if I remember correctly.
He drove out there.
Yeah, and this thing happened over the course of hours. So this slow-moving thing that people described as the size of like a football field.
Sam, we got anything on Phoenix Lights?
I'm sorry, about what?
Phoenix Lights. Sam, you have one job.
Who's driving this car?
Well, I've never heard of the Phoenix Lights before.
Yeah,
it's an unfamiliar phenomenon. I'm sorry about that.
That was in the 90s. I've heard of that, where they saw a bunch of weird stuff in the sky.
It was lights. It's like a triangle.
Yep.
And it moved.
We're gonna see if there's any. I don't know if there's any.
Sam, down about halfway, almost to the bottom. You see that like triangle with the lights? Yeah.
Click on that, Sam. Sam, are you sharing the screen?
There it is.
Just a moment.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's fine. Oh, so wait, is that them on the right there? That's it. That's real.
That's it. Yeah.
That might be is that actually it, or is that?
I don't know. I know they definitely caught footage of it because people were taking, camcorders. They did catch some footage.
Who's this guy?
History of Arizona. We could
wait, why are they inside? Go outside.
They're probably like, dude, you need to go outside. He's like, no, nope.
Wait, okay. Oh, okay. All right. There we go. So that's it. That's it?
Yeah.
So they don't know what that is.
No clue.
Oh.
That is so close to the city.
Yeah.
No, they're
It
like
flew over 3 states.
They're like
It flew over 3 states?
Yeah. Here. Let's see.
God, you great guest. Kudos.
Let me see.
learn more about this particular event.
All right, Sam. Now you cut it off,
here we
Sam.
go. Yeah. So they spotted over Arizona, Nevada, and the Mexican state of Sonora, and it was witnessed by thousands of people between 7:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. So this thing was like 3 hours long. A space of about 300 miles, as you can see, the triangular shaped lights, the V formation. First report over Henderson, but there were a ton of really credible witnesses. One of the, I think they said who they believe was the second witness was a now retired police officer. There's
the governor.
The governor.
Yeah.
Is there any non-UFO reason for this that's been presented?
Oh, Flares, of course.
What I saw was not flares.
So they always come out with the flares or weather balloons. One of the
But like if it was
potential
weather
culprits-
balloons, someone whose weather balloon it was, right? Would be like, hey guys, these are my weather balloons.
Yeah, they stayed together remarkably well the entire time. you know?
Yeah.
Good weather balloon technology.
So the weird thing is that this thing was huge, and it kind of hovered over and slowly kind of drifted over this 300-mile space or whatever, but it didn't make any noise. They said it was completely silent, and this thing was massive. So one of the theories, because a lot of times these sightings take place near like military installations, is that it is top secret government stuff, technology, and they're testing it out and kind of using the public to their advantage.
But the government has since said, right, this was not them.
I don't know about that for the Phoenix lights.
yeah, I don't know
Okay.
about that one.
Okay. All right. Let's move on from Phoenix. Okay. I want to see Sam. Can you pull up the Tic Tac footage?
You're going right to those.
Well, I
popular-
think that's the since Phoenix, right? That's the earliest one, correct?
No, they've had more since then, but this is the first one that really went crazy publicly because
Is there another one we should see before we get to the Tic Tac?
I mean, there's definitely several others. One of the ones
All right,
Andy and I
Sam.
were talking about the other
Hold
day,
on, Sam. We might have a new Google. All right.
O'Hare Airport in 2006.
This is a good one.
I haven't seen this one.
I don't know that there's video footage of this one, but like this incident is crazy because it was a bunch of a ton of credible
This
witnesses.
is Chicago. Should we Google O'Hare Airport 2008 UFO? See if we get anything. Okay.
Yeah, so this one's nuts because it was pilots who were witness to this. You know, people who are hopefully trained to know the difference between a bird and a weather balloon and a weather anomaly. You know,
What
and
year was this?
2008.
2006.
Oh, 2006. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep. But I mean, everything from like managers at the terminal to pilots, mechanics, managers, whatever, all witnessed this disc that was just basically hovering below this cloud. And it was sitting there for a while, apparently, about 1,900 feet above the ground. And
That is not far off the ground.
Yeah.
no. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. The cloud was 1,900 feet. I think they said the object was about 1,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
Over gate C-17 at the United Terminal.
So this is like over the airport.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Did people see it?
I don't know. I didn't dig too deep into that part of it. I was more interested in the fact that pilots not only saw it, who to me again makes credible witness. But they reported it to the FAA and because they're like, if this is a UFO or not, this is a safety problem.
Right.
And the FAA basically buried it. Like they didn't do anything with it. Yeah. And so there was an independent group, team of experts called NARCAP who spent 5 months investigating it, and they were a group of experts. So they had a guy who was a meteorologist formerly with the EPA. They had an aerospace engineer who used to work with NASA on advanced space missions. They had all these pilots, aviation experts, and they released like a 154-page report on this thing. And they're like, yeah, it's not a weather anomaly. This thing, we don't know what it was, but all the excuses that the FAA was giving, they're like, oh, it's this weather phenomena because essentially what happens.
Gas.
Yeah.
Light reflecting.
Why is the FAA so hesitant to just say we don't know what it is? Or is that what they said?
That's a great question. So Nancy Kane, who was one of the 2 New York Times reporters, put out a really great book where she interviews some of the most credible witnesses out there. Like I said, pilots, military personnel, government officials. So she actually talks about in her book how our approach in the United States is very different from like over in Europe. So like in England, pilots are actually, they're not ridiculed, but they're expected to report sightings like this.
Yeah.
So like it's not a big deal. Like they just report it. Our pilots, it's this weird thing where they're like, no, you don't talk that. You don't talk about.
Yeah, I could see that. Like you're like a crazy person. They think you're like a weirdo.
Right, a lunatic.
Yeah. That's a shame. It seems like things have changed though.
Yes.
In that regard, but we're not there yet. Okay, so 2008, 2006, we got the Chicago O'Hare thing.
Yep.
What do we got after that?
I mean, there's a bunch of sightings. So these are just a couple I wrote down because of just the sheer numbers of people.
That's good. That's good.
But like, so these things have been happening and have oftentimes been caught on camera, especially now. Like everybody's carrying a camera in their pocket, so it's becoming more and more prevalent that people are capturing this stuff. But what really like lit the fuse was the fact that you had 2 lifetime, respected New York Times reporters. So
You've spoken to one of them,
I spoke
right?
to one of them, yeah, Ralph Blumenthal. He's worked for, I think it was over 45 years as an investigative reporter for the New York Times. He's not formally employed for them anymore, but he still writes for them. So he contributed towards it as well. And they kept talking to these people who were very, very credible individuals. And they're like, there's something here. And so the way that they wrote the story was very much in the vein of like, all right, we don't know. We're not saying this is aliens, but we are saying that we have very credible witnesses who know the difference between objects in the sky, who are reporting these things that can do things that our aircraft cannot do. And nobody's talking about this. Like, how are we not investigating this? We're basically essentially admitting that there's aircraft in the sky that can run us ragged, and we're not concerned about this.
We should be concerned about it.
Yeah.
Can we watch the Tic Tac video?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
All right, Sam. Sam, have you seen this?
I'm not sure.
Pull it up.
I think this one's the most impressive.
This is the one where I saw this, and
I like the pilot when he's taking it.
gotta put my hat on
He
for
has
this.
the visual.
Yeah.
And he's taking it from his cockpit of the flying pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that's great.
Is that the Go Fast one? I can't remember.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen the Go Fast or the gimbal
that's
one.
not the Go Fast one.
Which one
The
is
Go
that?
Fast one's. I think is that the one where it's splash.
Sam, you're gonna have to scrub through. You're gonna have to
Oh,
scrub
yeah,
through
yeah.
one of these to find it. It's like where we're looking at like the pilot's heads-up display.
Yeah. It's all of those.
So by the way, and we can start shitting on Neil deGrasse Tyson now if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We've waited. We've
Yeah.
waited 20 minutes to do that.
So I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. The guy's brilliant. His version of the Cosmos TV show that came on was awesome. But the guy's arguments against UFOs, it was so, at least the one that he made on
the popular
Rogan
one.
recently was just incredibly weak.
Yeah.
Incredibly weak.
Okay. Is that up on the pod, Sam?
Yeah.
Is that up on the screen? They're up on the screen.
It will be in a moment.
Is that the Tic Tac?
Yeah, that's the one, right?
Yeah, it's a little white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little white dot. Yeah, that right there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, Sam. Sam, solid job finding that. Okay, that's the thing I've seen.
Yeah.
So this was off the coast. Is this the Catalina, California?
Yes.
Is this
Yes.
the David Fravor one?
Yes.
Okay, so this is. I'm looking. Okay, so I know this one a little bit.
But he was later on to capture. Other people from his squadron had captured it first.
But this is an F8. This is an F-18 Hornet, right? That's following this.
Yep. So there's actually, I believe, if I remember correctly, there were two in the air at the time. They were on a training mission off the coast, and so Fravor was piloting one of them. And now, recently, the
what's
other
her
pilot,
name?
Alex Dietrich,
Yeah.
just came out. She went public. She was interviewed along with him on 60 Minutes recently and was like, "Yep, I saw it too. I was there," as well as their two backseat weapons specialists.
Okay.
So there are four of them.
So 2 jets, 4 people
Right.
are tracking this thing actively,
Yeah.
and they just get hosed by it, right?
Yes. This thing's like. That's
Oh, there it
clear.
is. Oh, you guys missed it. Oh, Sam, can you show that again?
it's
the very end of it. Just show the last like 5 seconds, where it's like, yeah. It's like peace, pussies. Sam, did you see it?
Yeah.
Watch it go. It's like, oh, these Americans. All right, bye.
Boom. Yeah, just gone. What's crazy about this too is they were able to use the footage to try to figure out roughly the speed that it was traveling at, and it was something crazy like Mach 15.
So you told me that. So
Yeah.
they actually think when it did that maneuver, it was, oh, Sam, what is this? Is that the same thing?
That's I think. I don't know.
Have you
I
seen
think
this
that's-
one?
Yeah, I think that's the same. So there's a couple different videos, right? So Fravor and Dietrich got within about 5 miles, I think they said, of
Okay.
the object. So they were able to actually see it with their eyes.
Yeah.
As well as is capturing it on camera. But once they landed back on top of the ship, another pilot, I think it was Ryan. Chad Underwood, who's another pilot who went up. He got within 20 miles of it, so he didn't see it personally with his own eyes, but he was able to track it using the FLIR camera.
Okay.
So that picks up, heat, and so he captures this thing on his FLIR camera. So we've got multiple different systems that. I'm sorry, Dr. Tyson, but if you're saying that it was a technical glitch, then
No, I'm looking at that right there. No, that's not like the sensors effing that up.
No,
Right.
That's a weather balloon.
right.
That's a weather balloon.
You can
folks.
see the way it's turning though. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
and you can see they have like a little. I don't know if it's a lock on it, but their technology has like coupled onto it, and then it's just like nope, bye. So where did
we got to find the one with it might be the Go Fast where it splashes, it goes in the water.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Is that on video?
Yeah.
Where it goes into the water.
Yeah.
Go fast, Sam.
I
Go
don't know.
fast UFO.
I don't know if it's the Go Fast one.
So is this? So I just want to know, like that thing doesn't look like a Tic Tac, but is this the Tic Tac?
I don't know. There was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them like this.
At some point, we're gonna have to talk about Element 115.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah,
I love old Bob Lazar.
so I've never seen the Go Fast or the gimbal one.
Okay.
And those are the two I hear.
Sam, do UFO goes into ocean?
Yeah.
And will you talk to me about one of those? I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, so I don't know as much about those two. Those two came out more recently.
Okay.
And so those were from years later. So the Tic Tac video is from 2004. So we're talking like, what, 15 years ago?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that's what's crazy is the government has had footage and, essentially have captured these objects.
That's it.
Military
Yeah,
shows
watch this.
spherical UFO off California disappearing. Okay, so that's it?
Yeah, watch. It goes in the water.
I've never seen this.
Yeah.
They got a lock on it.
Yep.
It's like, I'm
And
out.
that's what's interesting too is like sometimes they can get a lock on it for a second and then it'll jam their
So
equipment.
what's interesting is if I'm looking at if this is infrared.
It's
Jeremy Corbell.
Oh yeah.
If it is infrared, that thing is black, which means it's not giving off a heat signature.
Right.
No, not at all.
If we are looking at an IR thing.
Well, the Tic Tac, I know for a fact that when Underwood went up in his plane and captured it on FLIR, one of the things that they said was crazy about it is that it was emitting heat of some kind, but not in the way that a conventional aircraft would. So there should be an exhaust plume out the back, based on the propulsion system
right.
we've been using for
Right.
decades, and there was just nothing.
That's scary.
Yeah. Well, what's even scarier is the fact that they were saying that they witnessed these things going from about 50,000 feet to 100 feet in a couple of seconds. And they're like, that's not possible based on our current understanding of physics.
We're gonna get into that. Okay, what's the gimbal thing? Is there another thing we should watch? Is there something to see for that?
Yeah. I mean, is that the triangular one?
Sam, can you check? Can you Google gimbal UFO video? Sam, you're doing a great job, by the way.
No, I want to do the picture that. Okay, so there's a Navy pilot. He's in a cockpit with his backseater behind him, and he literally has his cell phone camera out, and he's
What?
like snapping pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
What would we Google to find that?
Just Sam, do pilot takes picture of
We're
UFO.
throwing Sam like a bunch of stuff right now.
We're too excited.
Let me bring this up too. So Ryan Graves is another pilot who was on 60 Minutes,
Okay.
who I think off the East Coast was saying like they see this stuff all the time when they're up in the air.
This is the other coast of the. This is like
Yeah.
going West Coast to East Coast. Okay.
And he's like, so he's not active anymore, right? But he's like, I've heard through active duty sources that the objects seen on the East Coast appear like a cube in a sphere, continue today, and can also be found on the West Coast. He's like, basically, he's just trying to say, like, look, guys, like, this has been happening for a while. It's still happening. This isn't new.
Yeah.
But, like, they weren't able to talk about it. So most of the people, like Fravor and the other folks who were aboard the ship who witnessed this stuff from the guys who were
It's this
watching
and
the
then
radar.
and then they zoom in on it too.
All right. What do we Google? What does Sam Google to put that up on the screen?
Just do pilot takes pictures of UFO.
Whatever he has on the screen right now, though,
Look
looks
at this.
cool.
Look at this.
Okay, pull that up.
yeah.
Sam, wait, what did you Google to get that?
Just do pilot takes pictures of UFO and do an image search, and I'll show you which one to click on.
Can we verify this has not been photoshopped or anything?
No, I can't verify.
Okay.
Not right this minute.
Well, that's a problem.
Do an image search.
That's a
later.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Top left. Click on that one.
This one?
Yeah, click on that one, and then
Okay.
scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, I want to see the one. Yeah. The top left sub picture. That one right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yep. And okay. All right.
That's a weather balloon, folks.
Okay. First off, all
I
right.
can tell you a little bit about those.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So those were videos from 2014, 2015.
What the fuck is that?
Right. Those were taken from the USS Theodore Roosevelt, the gimbal video and the Go Fast video.
Has the U.S. military verified that what I'm seeing right there is not photoshopped and is real?
No, not this one. Only the FLIR videos, I think.
I think they verified all
Sam,
three.
Sam's got a very military-looking person up on the screen.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure all three have been verified by the
So,
Navy.
so that Sam, go that thing right there.
That's Fravor right next
The
to it.
United States military has verified that that is a real thing
don't
we
know.
saw.
Oh, this picture?
Yeah.
The three I don't know about that picture,
Okay.
but the three videos.
I mean, that
have been leaked.
looks alien to me.
Yeah.
This is the first thing. This is the first thing I've seen that wasn't like a little old black blip on a heads-up display.
That's the upside down pyramid one.
Yeah.
So the other thing that they noticed about the gimbal video and the Go Fast video, the craft that they're witnessing there, is that these crafts stayed up in the air for up to 12 hours at a time, and they're like, that's about 11 hours longer than normal.
Yeah.
You know, and like they seem to travel at speeds upwards of Mach 15, far faster than obviously anything that Russia has
That's
been theorized
something
to be working
we've
on.
brushed over the whole fact. Sam, do you think this?
Yeah.
What do you think of that last picture? Do you think that's real?
I don't know.
What's the last picture?
The one
I've
that's
seen
up
that
on
one
the
before.
TV
Yeah.
to your right there.
Oh, what about it?
Do you think it's real? That's the first good picture I've seen.
Of course it's real,
Yeah.
but we just don't know what it is.
No. I mean, do you think that's photoshopped or not?
No.
Really?
That one's not. No, I've seen that one before.
Like, that doesn't look like anything I've seen before.
Right. Well, and that's the weird thing is the craft that are spotted come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So the typical disc-shaped ones, we've seen cigar-shaped ones. You know, the Tic Tac one kind of fits in that. Pyramid-shaped ones, cube-shaped ones, like just all sorts of weird, you know, different. There's no consistency to it really. But yeah, they all kind of maneuver the same way. They take turns that are completely unnatural. They travel at speeds that are completely unnatural. Like Andy mentioned, you know, they've been sighted going into the ocean. Like
That's
no slowing down, just
another interesting thing to me because they talk about this. Rogan talks about this. Maybe they've come from the ocean.
like an underwater base.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they come up.
I've heard
and
there are
come-
bases in the ocean.
that's a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
So, all right, I want to get through all of the facts and credible sources before we just go on a wild ride.
Yeah.
Of like, what the hell is this? So, are there any other things we should look at?
Yeah.
You did this is fantastic, by the way. I had never seen that thing on the screen. That little like video game looking triangular thing.
Pull up.
And that's literally a pilot going.
And like, why?
Was that the gimbal or was that the Go Fast?
I don't
video?
know. I don't do
Google Google both of those. And see
What?
what's-
Like, I don't even know if I was an alien and designing a flying craft, why would I even pick that shape?
doesn't matter.
It doesn't look. It doesn't look
matter
very
for- it doesn't matter
aerodynamic.
for
Because
propulsion.
aerodynamics
Yeah.
don't matter.
Yeah.
if it's anti-gravity technology, basically it just shifts things out of the way anyway. So like that's the theory. The only propulsion system that would not turn you into soup going at that speed would be something that can bend space-time, and you would need an insane amount of gravity, like an insane amount of. You'd have to generate an insane amount of power to create a gravitational pull strong enough to warp space-time, and that's how theoretically. And Dr. Michio Kaku talks about this in his most recent book, how you could leapfrog across vast distances without having to just chug along, you know, for hundreds and hundreds of years. So
It's like the movie Interstellar. That's what it
Exactly.
reminds me of.
yeah,
Sam, I want to see either a gimbal or a Go Fast.
Do the Go Fast video. It should just be Go Fast video.
And we are, I do got to say, we are glossing over like hundreds and
So-
hundreds of
so-
things that are out there to look at.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the ones where the military is like, this is from our fighter pilots,
Yeah,
and we have no
this-
idea
this
what it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is the one where it goes in the water.
All right, Sam, put that on the screen.
And then after this, we should talk about like A-tip,
yeah,
and then
Yep.
and then kind of the lead up to where we are now.
Sam,
All right,
Sam's
here.
doing a
Right,
great
you
job.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So this is wait,
There
is
it
this the
there
Go
it is.
Fast? Oh, that
Yeah,
thing?
Yeah, and then it goes in the water. Goes in the water.
Oh.
boom.
Wait, where does it go?
No, I
Still
saw it. It's right
tracking,
there,
still
yeah.
tracking. And there it goes.
Oh, so he locked on it right
Yeah,
there.
there it
Oh,
goes.
okay. Dude, that thing's moving fast.
Yeah.
And then it goes in the water. I'm
Wait, is
pretty
this a
sure-
Fravor video?
No, no,
Dude,
no.
look,
No, this is a different one. Yeah.
first off, everyone bitches. Look at that quality Raytheon technology. That is locking on it quite well right now. Dude, that thing is moving fast.
Yeah,
So is this another FA-18 that's tracking it? Do we know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
video
It probably is.
Yeah, more
or
than
like an
likely.
F-15 or an F-22. I don't know. Dude, that is crazy. I'd never seen that one. Sam, what
Yeah.
was that? Was that Go Fast or Gimbal, or what did you Google to get that?
Go
This
fast.
is Go Fast. It is going fast. Is that the name? Is that the name
I
of
think that's
that
literally
thing?
how they got. Is one of the pilots is like, Well, that's going real fast.
Sam, can we get a gimbal? Can we get a? And why? I want to know why they. I've heard the gimbal footage. I've heard about this a lot. I'm curious, why they call it a gimbal, and then I've never actually seen it. It's probably another one of these like, we're looking at the heads-up display of a fighter pilot, and it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, okay, so this is gimbal.
I think we've already seen.
Okay,
that.
so we've seen this. All right. Wonder why they call it the gimbal one.
I don't know.
Whatever. So what's crazy to me is there's probably thousands of these sightings by military aircraft, and we've just looked at 3 of them. So they're seeing this shit all the time.
There was another awesome one where a bunch of airline pilots that I think they're near an airport, like coming in for landing, and they all see something, and they all break radio silence, and they're all talking to each other, and they're like, "Did you see that? Did you see that up there?" And he's like, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I saw it too."
Yeah, I mean, there are presidents who have basically gone on record, after office or whatever, who have said that they had sightings. Like Carter allegedly had a sighting.
I didn't know this.
Reagan, one of them, I swear, I can't remember the story, and this might be wrong, but spotted it outside of a plane. He was on a flight, and they saw something out the window. It's like, okay,
for as much time as I spent outside, I've never seen anything.
yeah.
I've never seen.
What's funny about that is they said that
there's no campers are seeing any of this stuff, right?
Well, and that's the funny thing though. They said since the pandemic started, UFO sightings have gone up because people are sitting at home like, I got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, there's tons more, I think, credible witnesses who are coming out now because they've been kind of legitimized. I mean, there was the whole Disclosure Project a couple years ago where they had like all sorts of former military officials, like Nick Pope, he used to work for the Ministry of Defense in the UK, who's an advocate, and there's a really interesting piece he wrote recently that talks about just how the government layers research projects in that aren't public knowledge and keep them secret in such a way that they are outside of the reach, I guess, of the Public Information Act. So like we could file a request, a freedom of.
There's like,
because they contract it out.
Yeah.
So ATIP, Andy mentioned earlier.
What is ATIP?
Advanced Aeronautics something.
Yeah.
It's AATIP if you want to Google it.
So that Lou Elizondo, the name that you've probably seen. So he was the project head, I guess.
Yeah. And they got funding from Harry Reid.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. First off, I love that Marco Rubio. This is like his torch to bear.
Well,
have you heard that?
No, but they're bringing both sides together.
Yeah, like the Republicans are like, we want to know what's out there. It's really weird.
Well, they're all like,
maybe Space Force has something. You know
what? As much as we make fun of Space Force, I actually think like it's a good idea.
Maybe there's a reason behind this after all. Like you guys just didn't know.
Or it's like kind of makes sense. It's like, all right, we've mastered water, we've mastered air. What's left? And then we're seeing all this shit.
Yeah.
So,
and their uniforms are pretty dope.
They are pretty dope. All right. Before we open this up to a broader discussion, what in your notes sheet here have we not hit upon?
Well, so like I said, I think there are some what I would call like mass UFO sightings that tend to be a little more credible. In my opinion. So like. It's harder to say like when you see Joe Bob outside his trailer, out in the middle. No offense to, you know what I mean. but like who sees it and he's the only witness, right?
Yeah.
So like the more witnesses, the better, especially when you get people who are trained professionals. So especially like pilots go a long way.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
So the O'Hare Airport thing, sighting was really interesting because this disc that was sighted that was hovering above was witnessed by tons of people in the United Airlines terminal there, and it basically shot up into the sky, went through the cloud that it was hovering under, and left a disc-shaped hole in it. So the FAA is like, well, there's this weather phenomenon, and then like these experts came in later, and they're like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, okay.
Like, no.
That's Chicago, too. That's far from the coast.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
So you've got that. You've got Rendlesham Forest, which is an interesting one.
What is this? I've never heard of this one.
So it's the RAF Woodbridge. It's a Air Force
base.
Base.
British. British. Okay.
But it was spotted by. So we had soldiers there, and this is during the Cold War. So this is 1980.
Okay.
December 26, 1980. So there were some U.S. soldiers stationed there, and they see these lights, And so they get permission to go off base into Rendlesham Forest to investigate because they initially thought it was a downed aircraft, like a plane had crashed into the forest. And then so there's multiple soldiers who go in to investigate, and basically the short version of it is that they see this craft that has lights on it, different colored lights, and this thing is kind of hovering above the forest. So they're going out there like, what is this thing? And a couple of them claimed to have gotten close enough to it because it had kind of landed in the woods and got close enough up to it to where he could actually like take a look at it and touch it. And he said it was smooth like glass, had weird symbols on the side, and so none of these guys talked about it. Yeah, none of these guys talked about it because they were debriefed like 500 times and basically were told this is the version that you can talk about.
Okay.
And so they were like made to sign off on these agreements. Like you can talk about this version of the story, but not what you actually saw.
Oh shit. That seems like a Sam. What am I watching right here?
I'm not entirely sure.
Hold on. There's some good Militia Dad's posting some good information. He said, look up TR3B photos. Sam, Google.
Sam, can we get a Google on?
Nice.
Do you know what that is?
It's a U.S. Navy aircraft, supposedly.
is this something that looks like something? Okay, all right.
Just do images.
All right. Maybe this looks like that weird triangle.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yes.
Sam, give me an actual picture of that ship.
Anti-gravity spacecraft.
That's crazy.
Wait, what? What am I looking at?
Suppose.
I like the music.
I do like this. Yeah, he muted it. Good job, Sam. What is this? What's the title of this video, Sam?
Well,
TR3B anti-gravity spacecraft.
Is this a real thing?
I'm not entirely sure.
By the way,
Have you heard of this?
I have not. But by the way, side note for history nerds, the Nazis were working on a UFO craft of their own called the what was it called? It was called nicknamed the Nazi Bell because it was shaped like an upside down bell, or like I guess a right side up bell, but kind of disc shaped with a kind of bubble in the middle. And they were actually working on this thing, and so skeptics are like, well, maybe they just perfected. I'm like, you don't think when Hitler was losing and he's like getting cornered by all sides, he's like, all right, it's time to whip out the UFOs.
Yeah, I feel like that would probably be a last ditch effort
like,
for the Germans.
Keep them secret.
Yeah, I So first off, I think all of this is fascinating and super fun to talk about. As a statistician.
Look at this.
Yeah, but look at the blurriness around the
What
bottom.
is that?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm seeing?
No, but look at the blurriness on the bottom.
What do you mean?
Scroll.
Sam, what is this?
Are we saying that's a
That's
UFO on an aircraft carrier? That can't
that's
be real.
The
I
TRB.
mean, yeah.
So the TR3B is an American.
No, hold on. I'm skeptical.
That's a F-35, I think.
Hold on.
Look at it on.
Sam, is this on the screen?
Why is it blurry
Sam,
underneath?
is this on the screen?
No, it's not.
Why is it blurry underneath?
Is it displacing gravity? Is that why?
Oh yes, I didn't think about that.
Sam, can you put this on the screen so the people watching can see it? All right. And what is this video of?
The TRB.
Yeah, but like what? No. Like who posted this video? What is this? Is this a video by the U.S. military?
Look at. I mean, come on. Look at the way that.
That's why I'm asking. Like who produced this video?
It appears to be photoshopped.
I was like, this doesn't look real.
It's from Reddit. No.
It's got a Section 51 watermark.
Yes.
It is what it is.
First off, I think all this stuff is fascinating. I mean, you simply cannot deny the amount of evidence or whatever it is.
Something is unexplained.
And the fact that the U.S. military is saying, then you think, okay, why are they saying that? Maybe there's shit that they know about, and they just want to keep us on this little like UFO like goose chase to like. There's part of that, but like, so clearly you have pilots seeing stuff on dozens, if not hundreds of occasions. And now we have video evidence of it. And now the U.S. government is saying, our pilots are seeing this. We don't know what it is. First off, what is do you know anything about what's supposed to come out later this month? And do you know about the genesis of all this, about the COVID relief bill and about what Trump did? So can you talk a little about that?
So there were some senators who have been trying to get to the heart of this for a while, and so
well, Sam, is this real? Sorry.
Of course it's real.
Is this up on the screen?
Yes.
All right,
it's up on the screen.
What is it?
This is TRB.
This is the TR-3B.
Is the TR-3B
Anti-gravity
real?
Spacecraft.
No, is this someone fucking with us?
No, it's from military.com.
well,
I mean, okay, so first, I do want to get to the genesis of the COVID relief bill, but there is certainly a part of this where it could be some military shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's certainly a possibility. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, talk to me about why all this stuff is coming out now.
So basically in this COVID relief bill, there's some senators who for a long time have wanted to get some answers. And, there's what the government does publicly and there's what the government does, when we're not aware. Right. So like the idea that we are just now starting to investigate this phenomenon is ridiculous. Like they've had government programs forever that were top secret for decades. And then they finally admitted, oh yeah, we have been looking at them,
Yeah.
So like Project Blue Book, Project Grudge.
What is I've heard Project Blue Book like 100 times. I don't actually know what it is. What is that?
So back in the I think it started in like the 50s. They brought aboard actually a guy from our hometown, from Ohio State University.
Oh, really? Go Bucks!
Yeah.
All right, go Bucks.
Dr. J. Allen Hynek. He was an astronomer, and they brought him on board, and he was partnered up with with the military, and they would investigate these weird encounters that were reported. But in large part, now looking back, it was the government's way of saying to the public, oh yeah, we're investigating these, but they would always have a convenient explanation for why it wasn't real. What was interesting about that, though, is by the end, in Hynek's later life, he would do interviews, and he's like, look, I absolutely believe that 95% of it is explainable. He's like, but in my experience, there was at least 5% of the cases that we took a look at, and they weren't even getting the best cases at this point. This is just the government trying to kind of smooth things over. He was like, it's completely unexplainable. He's like, I don't know that he ever went so far to say it's off-planet stuff, but he's like, not explainable.
Okay.
So that project took place, I think, through, I want to say, like the 1960s, and then they kind of shut it down. And they've had other projects since. But ATIP is the first time they've publicly acknowledged that they have an active, program to investigate this stuff. So I think we were talking about earlier, what kicked this off was these senators are like, we want to know what you know then. If you guys have been investigating this for a while, we want you to release what information you have on this phenomenon. So they wrote this into the COVID bill, which is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
It's like we need masks for everyone, and we need to know about the goddamn UFOs.
well, did they? Did they hold the COVID bill hostage until they could get that in there?
I don't know how that worked. I think
they're like, yeah, we'll vote for the COVID bill, but
I want to see the aliens.
You're putting $7 million in there for aliens.
Do you know what the monetary value was in the bill?
I don't know. I think I read it, but I don't remember.
Okay.
I just know that. So they basically gave them a deadline. So it's by the end of June, and it's kind of a hard and fast deadline, according to the people I've interviewed so far on this. But anybody who's followed UFOs, even like casually, knows that there have been attempts to get information released from the government through the Freedom of Information Act. All the government essentially has to do, though, is say, well, you can't read all of it because that would be a threat to national security, and they redact half of it. So I'm guessing that they will release some. There will be more confirmation of other sightings by pilots, probably. So we'll probably see some more videos, and we'll probably get some more confirmation of that. But for anybody who's like waiting for the government to be like, yo, aliens are real,
that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I think even if the government knew aliens were real, they're not saying shit. No.
What's crazy though is Eisenhower's, I think it's his great granddaughter, straight up is like, yeah, those rumors about Eisenhower, like my great great grandfather, whatever, meeting with aliens is totally real.
No way.
Like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. So there's this rumor that allegedly has been somewhat substantiated by people who were there. Like, there's this rumor.
He met with them? Not just he saw them.
Right. He met with them, and there's some sort of agreement.
Camp David.
Yeah, like an Accord thing. Or
I've
whatever.
never heard this.
So I thought I read about this like decades ago, right? When I was a kid investigating this stuff, and I was like, it's fun, but I'm
Yeah.
like, no way, like just no way.
But the rumor is when he was president,
Right.
he met with aliens and they made some sort of deal.
Packed, yeah. So it was an exchange of technology, allegedly.
What
like,
did we get? The microwave?
Them one grand.
breast
Laser-
implants?
I'm
lasers?
not really sure we got anything.
I think it was. I think,
Lasers.
honestly, I think they say microchips. I think that was the deal. Microchips.
Okay, that's a
and,
fair trade.
Yeah, which kind of led to a lot of things, obviously. But like, so I don't know specifically what technology or whatever. But well, I mean, if you believe that we've reversed engineered UFO, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But like, she thinks, and the rumor is by people who are fully into that theory, is that this alien race has evolved to the point where they're having reproductive problems, and we've got just great, sexy DNA, and so they're using us to study to try to figure out the solution to that problem in exchange for technology.
Wait, I've never heard any of this.
So are you saying there's like alien human hybrids amongst us?
Are we having alien orgies?
That is the theory. Well, what's sad about that though is you never remember the alien orgy that you have. You wake up the next day in a cornfield, apparently.
Is this like a Men in Black?
This
sort
is
of thing?
something. So you bring up something we have not touched on at all during this podcast. Is the abduction stories.
I'm surprised you guys haven't been abducted because remember the guy, the logger in the woods?
Yeah.
Dude, so the problem with the whole abduction story. So like when I'm seeing a heads up display image from an F-18 Hornet, that's a lot easier to believe than some dude's story.
I agree.
So that is so first off, there are so many abduction stories.
I know.
And there are a lot of like weird ones, and then I guess if they're trying to study us and like how we bang, I don't know, that kind of makes sense. But like there are, is there a credible abduction story that stands out to you?
Yeah, it's the one guy.
I think So the famous one back in the 80s was Whitley Strieber, right? He
I
wrote the
don't
book
know.
Communion, and he recounts. But the thing is,
I've never heard. Can you tell me what the story is? I've never heard it.
So if I remember correctly, I read the book years ago, but if I remember correctly, he had a house out in the woods or something. I don't think it was his main house, but he had this cabin or house out in the woods or something, and he sees a light coming through his window, and I want to say like a lot of these people don't remember; they have fragments of memories, and so through like hypnotic regression, which is shaky at best anyway, you have to be very careful of that because they've proven over time that like you can coerce false memories and stuff. But he remembers being taken aboard this craft, and he's kind of changed his tune over the years. It's kind of interesting because the way he paints the picture is that it was this horrific, traumatic incident, and now as he reflects back on it, he says, "Well, maybe it just seemed like traumatic because I didn't know what was going on, and I woke up in this, on a UFO essentially." So like his was a big one, but what was shaky about it is he also conveniently happened to be a horror writer.
Okay.
The one I think that's the most credible is the logger.
I've heard this one.
I'm
The dude that was on
road.
Rogan, right?
Yes.
The fire in the sky guy.
Yeah.
But other people.
Why do you think
They
that's
witnessed it.
why do you think that's the most credible one?
So it's a group of these guys who didn't all even necessarily like one another, who were out there. It's a crew of it was like 7 or 8 people, I think. It was a decent group of guys who, so allegedly what happens is they see this light, they see this craft that's kind of hovering above the ground, and the rest of them are, peeing their pants. They're sitting in their pickup truck, and the main guy, whose name we should probably figure out.
He was on. This is the guy that was on Rogan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's curious. He goes underneath of it, and he gets essentially the witnesses say a beam of light comes down like a tractor beam and just sucks him up into the aircraft. So he disappears for days.
Yeah, he was gone for like 4 or 5 days.
And it's just there's witnesses on this one, which is weird.
And then
And
is
they
this the
accuse
one
them
where
of murder.
yeah.
is this the one where the people got exposed to like serious amounts of radiation? There's another one.
There's
Oh,
always
the paint
that's a
was like
common
stripped
thing.
off of the car or something.
That's a different one. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a common thing. Radiation, which makes sense if an object is coming out of
this dude-
space, it's being bombarded with radiation.
So this dude, he was gone. What we know is he was gone for like 4 or 5 days and
Yep.
then reappeared.
Yep.
And he claims he was abducted. Then I'm like, okay, like let's say he was lying. Like, what was he? Was he just like hanging out in the woods for 5 days? I guess. But then why say you're abducted by aliens?
Right.
They're all doing acid.
I mean, maybe, but he was by himself, right?
No, but there's witnesses. That's the problem.
the rest
The
of the guys
witnesses
saw it happen.
saw him like
Yeah.
get
and they
sucked up.
They freaked out and they took off without him. And then to this day,
I'm like, fuck it.
sorry, buddy.
Get in the car.
Yeah, they took off and they got back. You're on your own. But they went back. They go back. I don't even think all of them went back, right? I think a couple of them were like, nope.
I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah. What if we saw Sam get sucked up there? I'd get it on video at least.
What's
Could you at
crazy,
least
though-
take a video?
Yeah, I would. I would.
You get it? Yeah, I'm gonna live stream this while you get sucked up in a UFO, and then I'm definitely not coming back.
Have there been any really credible abduction stories that have happened in the last like 10 years? Because all these ones you hear about are super old.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there are. I mean, they're ongoing. What's really interesting? So the guy that I interviewed, Ralph Blumenthal from the New York Times.
This is the New York Times guy who broke the big story.
Help. He was one of the writers. Because actually, the same day that the New York Times article came out, shortly after the Washington Post and Politico also came out
Oh, okay. I didn't know
with the
that.
story. So Washington Times actually knew about this, and they were like, we need to go now, or we're not going to break this.
Yeah.
So like they were all kind of jockeying for position, but Ralph and Blumenthal just wrote a book called The Believer, and it's a really interesting story, and it's completely based on abductions. Which again, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't. That's a little.
It's harder to
stretch for me.
believe, but they happen
Right.
so frequently, and I don't
They have a lot of
understand.
commonalities,
and I
too.
don't understand what people have to gain by lying about it. I mean, you get. I guess you get a little famous, little
but there's
notoriety.
I mean, you get a little bit of. There's no money.
There's no
in it.
money in it,
No.
right?
Unless, I mean, you can write a book
This
one
dude,
time, right?
this dude from the New York Times that you talked to, did he think
Yeah.
this stuff is real? I mean, he wrote a book on it.
I think he's become a believer in it. So basically, the book is about this guy named John Mack, and John Mack was I want to say a Harvard, a prestigious university, but was a psychiatrist, and he thought it was all nonsense, and so he kept hearing all these people who were reporting to have abduction experience. He's like, no. So he starts to work with these people, and by the end of it, he worked with hundreds of people, and by the end of it, he was like, I legitimately believe that these people had an experience and that they're telling
This
the
is
truth.
the psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, which is remarkable because he came in as a complete and utter skeptic, and he's like, I don't know what to tell you. And so like he took some heat from his colleagues. They some were either interested in his research, and some were like, this dude's lost his mind.
Yeah.
But he came out a believer on the other side. So anyway, he wrote this book about this guy, and it's really interesting.
Have you read this book?
I've started to read it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because the case is, excuse me. One of the things he does remark is that a lot of these people aren't willing to come forward about it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And so it's not as if they're attention seeking. He basically had to drag people out of their homes and beg them to recount their story because they're like horrified, and a lot of them had this viewed as kind of a traumatic experience. So
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there hasn't been one in the last like 10 years that's like, you know what I mean? Where, like I got it on my cell phone, or like my Ring
Yeah.
doorbell cam.
that's Neil deGrasse Tyson's issue. He's like on the last story. He's like, no, somebody just take your phone out and take a picture of an alien.
I can rip on that. I don't disagree with that, but
That's the same thing with Bigfoot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's way more evidence for UFOs than
for
Bigfoot.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's not aliens, what do you think these things are? Let's say aliens are off the table.
So if it's not aliens, and I'm not so sure that it is. It seems to I lean that direction only because technology advances incrementally. Like this would be a leap in technology the likes of which we've never seen. We're talking a completely different propulsion system that would change humanity forever. Like that's it's unheard of. So to say that the Chinese or the Russians would have come up with this technology, and we're spending $700 billion a year in defense, like more than the next 6 countries combined, and like they're ahead of us, there's something wrong there, you know? And we don't know about it would be the biggest colossal failing when it comes to our intelligence agency ever. Like You mean to tell me not only did they beat us to it, but we didn't know about it? Like, come on.
Sorry, Sam. Sam was pulling up these like classic fucking like 80s pictures of aliens over there. Is this on the screen?
Oh, there we go. 1986. What's going on over here?
And okay, so something I was telling my wife about, and I'm like, why aren't people considering that these are humans from the future?
That's a possibility.
I feel like that is more likely than aliens.
Yes, they're coming back. Because here's another interesting thing. Have you heard about this phenomenon where like these military officials have come forward and talked about the fact that they worked at like a nuclear silo, and UFOs were spotted overhead?
Yeah, I've heard that
and completely
commonly.
Shut it down.
Commonly, and like the. Everything you hear about is like this massive spike in UFOs since the atomic age started.
Yep.
And that kind of makes sense. It doesn't make sense for the people from the future necessarily, but it makes sense from like hey, these things have discovered atomic technology. Let's go sniff it out. Like that makes a little bit of sense to me. But I still like, I try and think of what's most probabilistic, and like, it certainly is more probable that these are not aliens, but then, okay, if they're not aliens, like, and these aren't like sensor malfunctions, I'm going to assume these are not sensor malfunctions. What the hell is this? Like what are these things?
I don't know.
That are, but okay, let's say they're not aliens. Okay, so what could it be? It could be people.
It's gotta be ours.
It could be people from the future.
We hope it's ours.
It could be military technology. But then if it is, see, here's the issue with that argument. If it is truly U.S. military technology, they are going to know to stay the F away from current fighters.
Or maybe they're like, hey, let's test these FLIRs against, see if they can keep
They-
it.
They would test it internally. They would send up one of their guys flying it with the flare. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know.
Well, you could make the argument that they're making a show of it for our enemies, right? So like the Russians and the Chinese are watching this like.
But
they
like,
have what?
are the Russians and the Chinese as into figuring out what UFOs are as the U.S. military?
I think they are. Yeah.
Are they? I feel like the U.S. has taken the lead here.
Well, here's the thing though. Like a lot of those governments have kept it secret, and we're talking about two, communist governments who don't tell us anything. They don't share shit with us.
Correct.
So like when the Soviet Union fell, actually, there was a lot of documents that were released about programs that they had where they were investigating the phenomenon as well.
Okay.
And what's actually even more interesting, if you want to talk about other countries like our allies, France, they had a very public, I don't know if public, but like it was, out in the open. They had a program. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but to study the phenomena, they were very open about it. And so that's kind of what got one of the writers from the New York Times interested in it, because they took it seriously. And they were like, yeah, we're trying to figure out what they are. So, like, not all countries are super secretive. The U.S. takes that stance, but
what do you think it is? Do you think it's aliens? I mean, I'm asking you, pick.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Highest likelihood.
I'm going with aliens.
Really?
I just don't know if we have. I don't know if we could take that leap in technology.
The counterpoint is, if their technology is that good, why are they letting us see them?
I don't know. Maybe it's like their own kind of slow disclosure.
That's a point Rogan brings up, which is valid.
They're flexing.
Yeah, they're probably looking at us with their nuclear weapons, like, you idiot kids, hanging on to sticks of dynamite. You're gonna blow yourselves up. Stop it.
How? Okay, so we've brought this up a few times. Like, how much better is this technology? I know it. So can you talk about it's not like thermal, right? Like they're moving and not producing a heat signature,
and it's not making any noise. So it's not producing. They're not producing exhaust. So
and this is from the videos we just watched. Like, this is not bullshit.
This is not bullshit.
Okay.
This is what the pilots are basically testifying to. They're saying, like, we were trying to follow these things, and these things were basically like in front of us. Then all of a sudden, in an instant, it's behind us. Like moving at speeds that there's basically these pilots, these highly trained military, like Fravor's like a
he's like a lieutenant commander or something. Yeah, I know. These are really high ranking military officials. I know that helps. And he's the story.
Dude, we don't have anything like this. And he's like, and what's even weirder about that situation was they had a top secret, because they were on this mission, this training exercise. They had this confidential top secret, I don't know what they call it, destination, where they
like a rally point.
Yeah, and obviously nobody knows where this point is, or where this destination, and the UFO disappears, and the next time they see it, it's at their.
I heard that.
Yeah.
It's like we're at their rally
Like
point.
it knew, like, hi, like, so it's, I don't know, man. I would have a hard time believing if it is ours, and ours humans, then I would have to say it's got to be the U.S. behind it.
Yeah, but I really think the U.S. military is smart enough to, unless they're trying to like just distract us from something, like they would know, they're gonna know where our fighters are and where our little freaking futuristic ship is going, and they're gonna know to send them not to the same place.
It's just a major breakthrough for Space Force, and they didn't have the funding to like coordinate with the rest of like the Navy.
They have a PR guy.
Just like, oh shit.
Oh,
And then the question
guys,
is,
the budget for a PR guy.
it's all Space Force.
Yeah.
No, it's a little scary. I mean, it's kind of scary either way, unless it's our technology, which I don't know.
Well, let me ask you a question. Which is scarier?
I've asked this question to myself.
The Russians or the Chinese having this technology, or aliens from another?
I think at this point, honestly, I think it's scary. So if, let's say it is aliens and they have this technology, they have decided not to kill us.
Yes.
Clearly. By
Clearly.
this point, yeah.
If the Russians and the Chinese have, war fighting technology that is 50 times better than ours, that's way scarier.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
I don't trust humans.
Which is why I don't know if it is them. I have no. I see this shit and I'm like, okay, I believe this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm at least to that point. Like I'm not one of those, like, I don't think this is a sensor malfunction. Yeah. I truly believe there are hundreds of instances where we have highly trained pilots seeing things up there. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I try and think what's the highest likelihood. And certainly the highest likelihood is not aliens, I don't think. But then it breaks down and, okay, if it's not aliens, like we said, like, what is it? And like, it doesn't make sense that it's our stuff, because why are we letting our fighters see it if it's supposed to be classified and it's our stuff? That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, why did the CIA like dope up Charlie Manson?
Yeah, but they weren't trying to get caught doing that. Like, they are fucking with our fighters.
Well, maybe
It's pretty conspicuous.
Maybe it's a distraction.
From what though?
From themselves.
Just wag the dog.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the thing is like nothing's off the. I mean, like,
It can be anything.
It can be anything.
I'll throw out a wild card.
It could be like,
what?
hey, we need.
I'm waiting.
I mean, humans from the future is not that crazy.
Next year, like some really small, like insignificant country's like, oh, hey guys, that was us.
Guatemala,
like $50,000 budget. Guatemala's like, yeah, guys, we figured it out.
we got anti-gravity technology.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you think logically though, the fact that these things exist and they haven't attacked us,
Yes,
that's a good thing.
right.
And that has to be a useful data point.
I agree. I totally agree with that. So I think if you're going with the aliens argument, you have to admit that this isn't new phenomenon. This has been happening for decades, generations.
Yeah.
Really. Like you can argue you can go like, what's the guy with the crazy hair, Ancient Aliens?
Yeah.
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah, you can go full
He was
Giorgio.
right the whole time.
Like, no, that's the weirdest thing. The guy from Blink-182 was right the whole time. Man. But like you could go that whole direction and say, okay, they've just been around forever.
Yeah.
Just watching us evolve or
That's
whatever.
not a terror. After given all this, it's not that crazy.
Like maybe, right?
Yeah.
But like you have to at least admit that since in the modern era, that like at least since the 40s, right? Since like Roswell and some of those incidents, it's a whole nother thing. But
And we haven't even gotten into that.
right. But like at least since the 40s, and so like you mean to tell me that either we or the Russians or Chinese have had this technology essentially since the 40s and haven't done anything to each other with it?
Yeah.
Like there was a scientist recently who was like, so if they do have this technology and they're spying on us, they certainly haven't used it to their advantage yet.
Yeah, no, that's a good point going against the fact that it is Russia or China. Yeah,
Right.
it's a good point. And we have just glossed over all the Roswell stuff.
Right.
I feel like that's a large...
I love how wasn't it confirmed too that they staged the pictures of the officers holding the weather balloons?
Yes.
So, yeah.
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 So they reported it when they initially reported it. It was actually in the newspaper.
What is this? What
Roswell,
are we talking about? Okay.
1947.
So there was a picture after that happened of people with weather balloons.
So, yeah. It's the military staged it. They brought in a bunch of like weather balloon like debris.
So people was like, it's not aliens.
Yeah.
It's fine, guys. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
And then that turned out to be false.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
what's interesting, and this just kind of shows you like the methodology that the military uses. So this crash allegedly happens in 1947. And was it Mac Brazel, I think, was the farmer on his land.
Is that Skinwalker? Is that the same thing?
No, that's
Skid
Utah,
Walker.
I think.
Is it Skin or Skidwalker?
Skin.
Skin.
It's Skin. Damn.
Yeah. There's an interesting
Stay
show
in your
about that
lane.
right now, too.
I know. Damn it.
You guys need to check that show out right now, too. They're doing experiments on it. It's bizarre.
Wait, what?
It's super weird. Yeah,
What is this?
Skinwalker Ranch. There's all sorts of weird stuff. They have
I've
a physicist out there who's like, I don't know. I don't know. he's so skeptical the whole time, and he's at the point now where he's just like, I don't know.
Wait, that's with the cattle, right? Where the cattle are getting like
Get
gutted.
mutilated.
I've
yeah.
heard of
Skinwalker.
Skinwalker Ranch. What is that?
So Skinwalker is like this Native American mythology that there are these kind of almost like demon beings that show up. But it was nicknamed after that. There was a Native American population in the area, but it's in this valley in, I think, Utah. And whoever's owned the farm, Robert Bigelow owned it for a while.
Right.
He brought in a whole team of scientists who were just like recently they interviewed one of the guys who's got to be like 80, and he's
like, what's
I think there's a
happening?
vortex out there.
What is happening out there though that they don't? I've heard of the cattle mutilation thing.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it.
No,
That's it?
UFO sightings.
Oh, really?
They've seen weird kind of like lights popping up. The whole valley lights up out of nowhere. I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. There's no lighting out there. They get weird radiation that pops up randomly when it feels like it. All sorts of just very strange paranormal things happen there that take place that don't make any sense. And they've had science teams out there numerous times trying to figure out what the heck it is.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I don't know. It's very entertaining. The show's on the History Channel right now, but we were talking about Roswell.
Yeah. We glossed over all that UFO.
Oh yeah, let's go back to Roswell.
Roswell's the granddaddy.
Yeah.
That's like the one that started it.
So first off, I spent a lot of time on Google Earth satellite looking at it.
Yeah.
Sam, have you ever looked at it?
Yes, I have.
So first off, Roswell and that base is a real thing.
Yes.
True story.
You mean
Yes.
Area 51?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Area S4.
S4. Well, there's a bunch
Groom
of them.
Lake.
So if you just
Dreamland.
go on,
John and I are going to the convention.
Hell yeah. And August, you want to go with us. We're going to go. Hey, actually, it's funny.
Wait, what?
I'm actually halfway serious about it because of the people that will be there.
Wait, where is it? Is it?
It's
is
in
this-
Las Vegas.
Is this the Storm Area 51
No,
thing?
no.
Is it like a UFO convention?
Yeah, it's so there's this organization called MUFON. It's the Mutual UFO Network. It's the oldest and largest like UFO reporting organization in the world. And so like you can call if you see something, you can report it, and they have investigators who they train to come out and basically try to figure out like if you're a crackpot or not, and try to corroborate it and stuff like that. So so they have a convention out in Las Vegas, and some of the guests that they have are like military guys.
Okay.
Like some of the guys that you've seen in a lot of these documentaries who are coming for it now, and I'm like, there's a chance I could get an interview.
Oh, that's true. That'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be worth it.
I could expense the whole trip.
No, I've spent a lot of time on the Google satellite looking at that area. So it's interesting. There is actually a
There's a base there.
well, there's
a strip.
there's a ton of military shit out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There is a base there that they do chemical weapons research with, though, that looks like all this. So I'm like, I wonder if that's what it was. But like, if you see it out there, I mean, go on Google Satellite. You can see the airstrip. You can see the buildings, see the roads between the buildings. So I'm like, what the hell are they doing out there?
Top
research
secret.
and development.
Yeah, top secret aircraft.
We don't know.
I think they admitted that they tested the stealth bomber out there.
Like Skunk Works was probably
Yeah.
out there or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So is that what's going on out there?
I mean, think about like.
Do you think Bob Lazar is telling the truth?
I think what adds
There
to
was
his
a
credibility.
hesitant pause.
But how do you? He's telling the truth on something because of the element.
I mean, a lot of the things that he claimed
he has video
have
he
been
has
verified.
he has a video of it.
He does.
He has video of Element 115.
He allegedly had possession of some of it at one point,
Yeah, he
and
has
that's why they
video.
kept raiding his house.
Yeah.
Sam, can you Google what actual element 115 is?
He has video of I forget.
Oh, he did that. You're talking about that experiment.
Yeah,
That
it's
super
on
weird.
VHS. Yeah,
Where it's
glowing. Yeah.
Yes. So So what's interesting about Bob Lazar is that first he came out as this big to do about it, and then like all the detractors came in and tried to discredit him. Maybe because he should be discredited. Maybe because they were trying to shut him up without, because he went public intentionally because he didn't want to be murdered. And so what the next best thing you could do is just ruin his life, right?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, he never went to this school. He never went to this school.
Moscovium is element 115. Sorry.
Yeah. So element 115 was something that he talked about back then that hadn't been discovered yet. And then I think Russian scientists were able to stabilize it briefly, but discovered that it is a real element. And then there were like the hand scanners and some other things that he knew.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember him
Yeah.
talking about that. Yeah, we got Moscovium up on the screen. This is purported to be a fuel source, right? That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yep.
For the anti-gravity things.
Yeah. So his claim is that, and he drew in great detail these pictures of this craft that he was hired to reverse engineer.
No right angles. That's all I remember.
Super weird, right?
Yeah, no
Gravity,
right angles.
anti-gravity amplifiers.
Yeah.
But yeah, he claims that like all these things, and initially it was easy to dismiss because like he had no one backing up his
Yeah.
claims. But in the years since, like as more information gets released and more people are willing to come forward, they've started to corroborate some of his story. And so it's like you have to say, okay, well maybe at least a portion of what he's saying is true. But then like
His
there's so
shit
much,
is
the waters are so muddy.
His shit is crazy. I mean, he like laid it all out there. Like
Yeah.
we had all these crafts. We had this like sphere they tried to cut into or something, and
Yeah.
they tried to power it, and it powered by
He
not
was-
touching it.
Yeah, he was working on the propulsion.
And it's like, to me, I'm like, okay, I got to figure out if this guy's full of shit or not.
Right.
And if he's not full of shit,
You'll never know.
is he?
Yeah.
Is he just saying some things that are full of shit? Because the stuff he said is nuts.
Right.
And so I try and figure out, and he like I think him like what does he have to gain about lying about this stuff? And he hasn't really gained anything.
And he doesn't really want fame. The dude lives in the middle of nowhere in
So like,
Michigan,
why?
makes fireworks.
Right.
You know? He's
I did.
like, "Leave me
I
alone."
did laugh at the fact that they caught his wife banging the flight instructor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Bob's just making rocket cars all the time.
No,
But I
but
mean, he's certainly smart, right? Like,
yeah. And he certainly worked there. But I try and think, okay, if this dude is lying, why is he lying? There's no reason to. I mean, he's not really. He got some fame, but it wasn't like he's making money off of this, or like, why would you lie about it? And he's insanely detailed in how he talks about it.
And he doesn't do interviews hardly ever.
No, but then it's like, okay, there were probably a lot of people that worked there. Granted, this was what, in like the 70s, maybe some of
80s,
the
yeah.
80s. So
Yeah.
like, why aren't there more people talking about this? You know, that's a whole thing. And like,
Yeah.
once again, why don't we have any pictures? I guess it was the 80s. That's probably why.
Do you remember when we listened to the Bob Lazar podcast? We were driving to Pictured Rocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's
overnight.
Nice.
Yeah.
it is compelling.
The UP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
It
What
is
was this, Andy?
Remember we drove to actually the three of us. We
Yeah.
drove to Pictured
Right.
Rocks. We
Remember
drove,
the Bob Lazar
we drove
podcast?
overnight up to the UP.
Oh yeah. We were driving through the night.
And Corbell's documentary with him is
Yeah.
really
I watched
interesting
that.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't know what to make. I try and like have a level head about this and think rational about it. But I don't know when I hear his stuff. Okay, I'm like I'm just gonna assume he's full of shit.
Right,
But
yeah.
then as he talks and like I'm like, okay, some of it makes sense, but like there's no real hard evidence. So but then it's like we've got all these like reporters talking to him, and he's got all these files that prove he worked there and like all this stuff. And he's just like, it's ruined his life.
Right. Right.
You know, like he's not gained anything from it, from telling about it. It's literally ruined his life.
Yeah.
So like, okay, then why would he make all this stuff up if he knew it may ruin his life? And like, he's a kind of a wild card.
Yeah.
Unlike the videos we watched earlier where I'm like, okay, I can believe this. Like
Yeah.
I'm seeing this, you know, and hearing pilots like talk about it as it's happening. That's one thing, but he's a whole other thing.
But
Yeah.
but I also think these senators are like, right now is the time to like capitalize on the popularity of it.
I'm still like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny when the article came out too, like, not to shit on former presidents or whatever, but like we were in an environment where like crazy things were being said and happening in the news every single day.
You can shit on ex-presidents.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good point though.
But yeah, so like
Trump was saying all sorts
the
of crazy
current one,
shit.
too.
And so basically UFOs are real comes out in all these major, like very substantial news publications and no one notices.
That is the insane thing to me. It's like you had a period of time from Roswell. When was Roswell? 50s?
47.
You had a time period from 1947 to 2015 where UFOs were like UFOs were in the common in culture,
Right.
and then they're like, hey, we got them, and nobody cares,
Right. I mean, we're so just numb, I think, to things that are just outlandish and crazy now that like I think maybe they were just like, now's the perfect time.
And like that's actually that's a good point.
Like
if the government's like, okay, we know we have UFOs, we got Trump as president, just
now's the
slide
time.
it out there.
Yeah, we told you.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping Trump and him being Trump would kind of
loose
spill
lips.
the beans on all this stuff.
No, you know damn well.
Nobody would have believed
You
it.
They're not going to brief him on that.
You know damn well the military is like, we're not telling Trump this. No way.
Okay.
He'll tweet about it from the
Yes.
toilet
No
now.
way. No, it's kind of interesting to think about that though, and like, who is the establishment that knows about this in the government historically? Like, is it
I
the
don't know.
DOD?
I don't know if
Is it
there
the
is.
CIA? No,
It's the
there
military.
surely is.
Oh,
Yeah.
the military does because ATIP was a program in
So
the
is it
Pentagon.
so
Right.
so it's like the Air Force or it's like some team, like there is a group of people somewhere in the
So-
military. This is their job.
So here's an interesting story. So when like the British, when they research it, they don't call it UFOs. They call it UAPs.
Which I think is a fair.
Right. Because they can't get funding.
If they say
Government-
UFO, yeah, and that's a shame.
And
So if they put threat in the definition, then like we need to fund that, right? Because if there's something that's a threat,
What's true though?
Yeah.
so that's where we stole UAP from, was partly because of that and partly because the term UFO had been stigmatized to such a degree that everybody. I mean, look at the woman who asked Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, the other day. She couldn't get the question out without giggling. You know what I mean? We're still there. And then I mean, she got the question out, so that's great. But like, UFO was so stigmatized that they literally had to change the name. So now we can say UAP, and that's legit.
I know. It's unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Right.
I like that. I like UFO. It's old school.
Well, Nick Pope, in that same article I was talking about earlier, the guy from the UK who worked for the Ministry of Defense, had a really interesting argument for why there hasn't been disclosure yet. And we've always been told it's because, well, the general populace will freak out. Like everyone will panic. It'll be mass chaos. And he's like, no, that's not it at all. He's like, the reason is because if they're real and if this is alien technology, the first country that gets a hold of that technology runs the planet.
Yeah.
And he's like if you have that, you don't want your enemies to know. Like, you want to be the first one to get your hands on. I mean, if we're talking anti-gravity technology, the fact that you can go at ridiculous speeds and then not even stop and go right into the water without pancaking, like we're talking free energy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So like the amount of power that these things would need to create that kind of gravity, they're saying that this is like limitless like energy. You'd be able to power the entire planet indefinitely. So like we're talking
That's a
like
bold statement.
massive. Yeah, we're talking massive technological advancements. Like if this technology is real.
I think I'm definitely for it being real. Just watching those things, I don't think there's sensor malfunctions.
No. I thought we were fans of Neil here.
There's something moving fast up there.
It's a sensor malfunction.
I like how Fravors they were like, "Were you scared?" He's like, "No, I want to fly one."
Yeah, he did say
buddy.
that. Yeah.
And
Did they really think it's going Mach 15?
Yeah.
Really?
So like based on the video,
There's not a
footage,
thing in there. It's got to be a drone, right?
It could be, yeah. So one of the theories is that oftentimes they'll see a larger object and they'll see smaller craft come out of it, And that
Really?
they think that
I've never heard this.
yeah. So the second part of the Nimitz story, because there were very recently there were two guys who were working aboard the ship.
Yeah.
That came out and they're like, well, it's declassified now, so we can talk about it. But they basically were like, yeah, we basically witnessed multiple craft, and they were circling around this object that was just below the surface of the water that was about the size of a 747.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And they sent all sorts of stuff to try to like figure it out. Submarines, all sorts.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
It's off the coast of California.
Yeah, off Catalina Island. So there's actually a show.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Too much white wine. there's actually a show recently that it's a really fun show that I watch anyway, but they do all sorts of different weird investigations. So they recently went out to investigate this, and Lou Elizondo himself actually came out and went with them. They tried to scuba dive down to take a look, because he's like, there's got to be something under the water here. And they sent down, but it's so deep they can't dive down that far. So they send down one of those deep sea submersible things. This thing is recording video. It gets about halfway down. It sees a flash of light, and then the camera goes dead.
Oh, I've not heard any of this.
Yeah. So it's called Expedition X. It's a show on what is it on? A&E maybe or something like that. Discovery.
It's legit if it's on Discovery.
Yeah.
Everything else not legit.
Not legit. No. Discovery Plus. All your paranormal needs right there. But like, so this thing like turns off. So there's one guy who's on this boat, and there's another woman who's got and I interviewed this guy who works for MUFON, who's like, they interviewed him on the show, and he's like, that camera that they're using, that is some very expensive technology. So they had this camera called a DAP camera. And this thing is focused on the sky, and it's connected to computer software that's designed to identify anything in the sky. So like you see like little objects go past, and you see it, track it, and then it's like, commercial aircraft or whatever, or satellite or planet, and they caught something. It's like unidentified.
Oh.
And you see this thing go whoop, whoop.
Oh, shit.
And then, so she's up there paying attention to this camera, and this guy's down there trying to drop this deep sea submersible down there, and he's like radioing her. He's like, this thing just turned off for no reason. So he pulls it back up, gets the camera to work again. So now it's working, and he's like, it's fine. So he drops it down, and all of a sudden she's standing up on the hillside, and you see this ball of light just go right out of the water, straight up in the sky. Yeah,
It's like in Sphere where it just comes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That is. What are the odds like this is just some Tony Stark dude in his shed?
It's Richard Bronson.
That has just, I mean, certainly
It's Elon.
That
It's Elon Musk and his flamethrower.
That could be a possibility, right?
Absolutely.
Just some dude who's like, I got it.
Yeah, like the next Tesla could be out there with the right funding, and he's just like, all right, I got it. I mean,
It's crazy.
Occam's razor says it's probably somebody somewhere figured this out, right?
Right.
But like deep down, we all are like,
It's aliens.
It's aliens.
yeah, because that opens up a world of possibilities, right? Like we're not alone in the universe, and there's some other race that's way more advanced, that's older than us, is visiting, and we now could have the potential to travel to other places in the universe.
Aliens is definitely the sexier.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely the sexier outcome. I'll give you that.
Do you think aliens are hot though? I don't know.
I mean, they want to bang us. This is what I've been hearing.
the gray guys, not so much.
It's a sexy theory.
It's a sex. That's what I mean. Sorry. It's a sexy theory. It's a seductive theory. Like it's really cool to think about it, but I have to think, okay, what's the highest likelihood? I don't know. I don't. It's
but
like
there's gotta be sexy aliens though.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more likely than not?
That there are aliens or sexy ones? Oh, I don't like.
That's a great question.
So all right, so here's
That's not a good question.
No, I mean no. If it's more likely or not that they're aliens, not that if they're sexy aliens.
right. Yeah.
No. This has nothing to do about their sex appeal. We can talk about that later.
I would like to talk about that too after this question.
Yeah.
I would as well.
So I probably ruined a date once by getting way too hard on this one, but I'm like, you don't want to go out again? Why not? It's so weird. I don't know what happened, but we were so she asked me the question. She's like, do you think aliens are real?
Wait, were you on a date and this got brought up?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Like,
You're in my wheelhouse.
I'm like, you either asked the right guy or the wrong one. I don't know.
Okay,
You
all right,
decide.
all right.
So I was like, I was like, all right, so there's two questions in there, in my opinion. Like, are aliens real in general, and are aliens real in here?
Yeah.
You know, so like, are aliens real in general? 100% yes. So there's a mathematical equation.
I'm with you on this. Yeah, I'm with you on this.
So scientists have this crazy equation.
The
Like,
probability is so
Earth-like planets. Yeah, even in the Milky Way alone, it's like 20 billion.
Yeah.
Right? And then the visible universe is like 20 billion trillion. So math says there's an alien out there somewhere.
There are a billion galaxies.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane?
This is way more than
that
a
we can
billion.
see.
Yeah.
That we can see.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah,
Just think
that's-
about that. There's a billion.
There's like trillions of galaxies.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I buy the
Yeah.
fact that the probability that there's some advanced
high.
life out there is certainly
Or
a
just
given.
life
Yeah.
in general. Or
Right.
something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, to say that we're alone is such an arrogant
Right.
idea.
Correct. I agree with that.
So that's one thing. Like, I'm 100% on board with that. To say that there are aliens and are further advanced than we are and have figured out how to leap across huge, vast distances of space, I don't know. I'd like to think so. I like to say, like, I was getting in an argument with my buddy the other day. He's like, well, you know, the sun would have died off by the time they're that advanced. I'm like, not really, dude. Like,
Yeah.
our sun's middle-aged. And so to say that, like, this technology 1,000 years from now,
Right. That's why it's people from the future.
yeah. Which theoretically would be possible if you could bend space-time.
I feel like people from the future is probably as likely as aliens.
I'm on board. I'm on board with you.
But then it's like, why are they coming back here? Maybe they're trying to change things and we just don't know that they're changing things.
Terminator.
It's the Goobex.
It's Terminator.
Yeah, the inflation is so bad. They're going back to take our jobs.
It's Skynet. We just don't know about it.
Yeah.
But
I
somewhere
really
there's a
do think,
Terminator.
I think that's not a crazy possibility.
No.
Or some other place.
Nobody wants to come back to this time.
Well, maybe they fucked up, Sam, and they got to come
Yeah.
back. And Sarah Connor's got a kid.
And
Right.
And Skynet's taking
I'm thinking
over.
it's unlikely, but yeah,
Sam,
that's
what do you
just-
think these things are?
Well, of course they're aliens.
You think 100% they're aliens?
There we go.
I think so. Yeah. Why
You
not?
think 100%?
I'm like 90% sure they are.
I mean, U.S. advanced
Sam's-
technology.
Sam's an amateur astronomer.
Sam
Of
is an
course,
astronomer.
yeah. I mean, they came from somewhere in the galaxy, but who knows where?
You're talking on
You're
the wrong
talking
side
on
of
the wrong side of the mic, dude. See how much better this is going to sound?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go.
So you think 100% chance aliens?
95. Yeah.
Oh, you left a
Wow,
little bit.
Sam.
I'm not much of a skeptic. I mean,
Really? I thought
Why,
you were. I
why,
thought you
why
were
would you be a
skeptic.
skeptic at this point? What more do you need?
I need to see him.
What if they're not like corporal beings? What if they're just like
I'm with it
What
that
if
these
it's what if
ships
it's
could
AI?
not have people in them.
What if
Not
it's-
have
like,
things
yeah,
in them.
yeah. What
could-
if they're not people as we know it?
Ooh.
I think that's a fair point.
We could
You
go.
think they're robots?
Like
No,
AI.
no. What
No.
if they're just like they're not like they're just like pure energy beings and that they just come in with these pods.
Sam did not come up with that theory, by the way.
I did
That
not come
theory
up
is
with that.
out
No,
there.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's a real theory.
I'm gonna have
I
trouble
heard
getting
pure,
They're just from a
energy
different
beings.
density that we are. And,
Can we go full interdimensional travel?
But
here?
they
I think we
have
should, yeah.
some sort of craft that is like
Well, yeah, that can contain their essence.
yeah.
And
So
come
they
into
have
us.
some sort of like craft, like they're in there. They're 3D.
Good bourbon.
You
want some more?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, give 'em
Are,
some.
are they 3D? Who knows?
So okay, I buy like that these ships we're seeing in these things. Like I buy that there's nothing in them, like organic.
Yeah, I don't think there's any little green men in there.
Well, have
But you're saying there could be beings comprised
Oh, yeah.
of power?
Yeah, though that they could just be
Just a scotch.
beings of pure energy that they're basically they just
Okay, all right. Here's a fun thing to talk about. Let's say let's say
this is all fun things to
I know.
talk about.
Let's say they
I'm trying to
are.
tap into that spirituality side you just got going here. Yeah.
Let's say they are aliens. Like why? What do you? Why are they here? What are they doing? Fucking with our F-18 Hornets?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
I personally, I think they're here because I think we set off a nuke back in the 40s, and that caught the attention of the universe.
But that was 70 years ago.
Right.
So what have they been doing in the last 70 years, and why hasn't it changed?
I think a theory would be that we still have a ton of nukes, and we're not getting smarter. It doesn't seem like, and I think if I was an alien race, and
do you think they think we pose a threat to them?
Potentially, yeah. If we had the ability to travel to other planets and we're already just destroying the one we have, like.
But our ability, you think these aliens would.
We're like the shitty vacationers, you know what I mean?
But like, let's assume that these aliens have a good grasp on our current state of technology, because they would know that we pose no harm to them, realistically, right?
We can't. Yeah, we couldn't.
So it kind of shoots a hole in that argument. Now, I get the argument of them watching us.
Right. I think they think we're gonna harm ourselves,
kill ourselves. But then why do they care?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that if they haven't, farmed us out as alien food yet, and they haven't been aggressive in any way, like if you're into the idea that they're like a benevolent race who are like further advanced and just on a higher level, than we are, then you would hope that they see the potential in our growth if we can survive long enough to reach it. That
then why aren't they helping us?
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Maybe Eisenhower did meet with them.
Eisenhower did have a meeting.
Yeah.
So
maybe they need us.
Well, they need us to figure out how to bang more. That's another thing.
Well, no, man. I mean, think about they're thinking of things on like a much longer time scale than we are.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of years.
So I buy the argument that if it is a super advanced race, that they would be benevolent towards us.
Let's hope so, man.
I know. I actually think
we can assume that. Yeah.
I think benevolence and peace
they would have ripped us up.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
benevolence and peace is a sign of a more advanced, because like fighting and killing is a waste of resources, and it's not smart to do that.
Well, and we don't send bros into space either, right? It's our nerdy scientists. So it's
That's
probably
true.
their nerdy scientists who are like, hey, guys.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. They might have some bro aliens back on Planet X.
They definitely.
Who are all just flexing at the gym.
Doesn't Bob Lazar actually have talk about the specific planet he thinks they came from?
Zeta
Doesn't he?
Reticuli?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's where the Greys allegedly come from, right? The little gray guys. But here's to back to what you're talking about earlier. Like, one of the theories is that the little gray guys are actually essentially like somewhere in between a robot and like organic.
Okay.
But they're essentially like these little droid guys that they send out who can survive the conditions of space or whatever and just observe.
So that would make more sense to me.
Yeah, that's a completely legitimate argument.
Yeah.
I mean, does it
When
bleed?
are we going to combine our interests, though, guys, and talk about Bigfoot piloting the UFO through dimensions? Like the interdimensional traveler, Bigfoot.
I mean,
Sasquatch.
it is
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
it's a space squatch.
Someone out there has to turn that into a T-shirt. Like
I know,
tomorrow.
right? I know.
Space
Although
Squatch.
I'd be curious. You never hear about campers and backpackers telling stories about
There's
UFOs.
people in the chat talking about it.
Really?
Yeah, there's a
I've
couple
never
people.
seen anything crazy.
Let's read some of these.
Sam,
Where we at?
is there anything in the chat? I'm sure there is.
Got something about angels here.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one too. Yep.
There is a religious spin to this, I guess you could make, right?
There's definitely a mystical
100%.
aspect to it. Yeah. I mean, we could probably fill a whole podcast with it. Not gonna lie.
One of the interviews I just recently did, the guy is very much on that.
Really?
Yeah, he thinks
Bryce says they're the guardians of the planet.
yeah. he basically thinks that these aliens are these much older,
Bryce said that.
more evolved beings or whatever, and it's very much a spiritual kind of bent to it, where once we realize as human beings that we're not all each other's enemies and that we yes.
Well done, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, perfect timing on that.
Sam, can you find a picture of Bigfoot piloting a UFO? Okay.
Sam, solid job on that.
Yeah.
X-Files
Probably.
theme song. Drop.
But yeah, so he thinks there's definitely a spiritual element to it. Once we realize that we're part of a collective whole and we stop killing each other and realize that that's never fixed anything, that we'll evolve as a species.
That's a really cool point, because I think sometimes about how if we did know that aliens, he did find. Is this on the screen, Sam?
Yes.
Can people see this?
Oh my God.
So wait, where's the shirt? I think.
Beam up Bigfoot. Yep.
That's so good.
I do think though, if we were to find out aliens exist, how much that would upend current state religion.
It would
Some
destroy
certain.
it.
Now John's got good. Yeah, you got it.
Well, no, I think
You're
I
getting
think,
into my other
I know,
wheelhouse,
I know.
I personally think it would destroy
No,
us.
but you know, Sam, you know those religious zealots
They
would
would
find a
change.
way to justify it, and they would change.
Yeah, it would
You know
just
what it is?
crumble and wither away.
I'll tell you what
no.
they're doing right now.
I think
What, are they
so.
getting ready? Are they getting ready?
They're getting ready to the extent that because I'm trying to start this podcast out, on social media, I'm trying to follow people that make sense, right?
Yeah.
So there's this one social media feed that I followed it without doing due diligence on it, and then I started to see this person's posts in my feed, and this guy is obviously hyper conservative religious.
Okay, of course.
And he's like, you guys need to stop buying into the UFO thing. These are demons. They're demons. And I'm like, bro, that seems even more illogical,
They got some pretty sweet space tech if
Yeah.
they're demons.
Like, so demons need a ship, huh? Like, they can't just
I'm cool with
levitate?
that.
Yeah.
My demons levitate.
I mean,
Sorry
is
about
there
yours.
is there any
I've played Doom before.
true story, dude? Is there any wiggle room in any of the main current religions for aliens?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. The people who say that aliens would be would contradict like the Bible, for example, they're
I mean, they would, right?
no. Like,
I
there's
guess
nothing in there that says anything about aliens not being real or
Yeah,
there
that's
not
my
being
point.
creation outside of Earth.
But don't. Oh, really? There's. I haven't read the Bible, so I don't know.
It's okay. No.
No, but there are but that's not bullshit. Like, if
No.
there is creation outside of Earth that does not go against the Bible.
Well, the Bible just doesn't talk about it.
Okay.
Right. So the Bible is it's a lot of like mythological vehicles.
Right.
That try to explain like the history of creation or whatever. So it talks about creation here on Earth, but it certainly by no means excludes
It
creation
doesn't
elsewhere.
say.
Yeah.
What
There's
about,
nowhere in
like,
the Bible
the-
that's just like and only here.
What about Are you familiar with like the Quran or any other?
Yeah.
Like, is it the same case in those religious texts?
Yeah, so like so Islam and Judaism, they're all offshoots, right?
Right,
So
right.
like, so yeah, I don't from now I'm not as well versed in the Quran, but I have studied to some extent, and like I don't think there's anything. I think what it is, there's no mention of it, right? So there's no mention explicitly in any of the sacred texts
Okay.
about like life on other planets, because I think we're talking about like
But
people that were
Here's-
very
there's
there's no
some-
astronomy back
there's
then.
some comment that they're fucking cracking up about right now. What? Here's my counterpoint. Wait, what?
It said, Alan says, read the Bible, Kevin. And it's Sam posts, Kevin shall read the Bible.
Here's what I'm saying. I have not read the Bible. I don't plan on reading the Bible.
It's got some fun
Here's-
stories in it.
here's-
If you like incest.
Here's the thing.
That's true. There's some in there.
Fair.
I'm not poo-pooing it, by the way.
I feel like so I don't know enough about religion to get into this conversation, but I feel like religion makes the point to say that they know a lot about what's going on in terms of creation of humans.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother podcast. But so I think there will be a lot of Western Christians, specifically in Christianity. I think there are probably a lot of older religions, maybe Eastern ones, that would be fully welcoming, and they would embrace like alien races coming
Okay.
down. I think, and this is just my own opinion, Western Christianity, because they've taken such a literal approach
Yeah,
to it.
they're fucked, right?
Yeah, their whole paradigm is gonna just
That's what what
Yeah.
I'm referring to in my head. Okay.
because they'll find a
Yeah.
passage in there that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. Completely take it out of context and be like, "See, God said there are no aliens." I'm like, it's because you want to be exclusive.
Yeah.
It's this exclusive club.
It's a human-centric sort of
Yeah. No.
philosophy.
I don't think like if aliens exist, I don't think that shoots down the notion of a god.
No.
Right? I don't necessarily think that.
If there's a higher power that created the universe,
They probably
and
create
delights
aliens.
in creation.
They probably create aliens.
Yeah, like then creation just continues on, right?
Now here's
Exponentially.
What if
Like,
we
just-
take the Prometheus aspect? What if the aliens created us?
It's possible.
Oh yeah,
I think
Martian seedlings. That's what we got.
I love Prometheus.
I mean, I mean, that is as
not?
logical as some of the things we're talking about.
here we go.
Like they create.
That was my favorite show growing up.
Man, A+,
Sam,
Sam, A+.
But but like it makes sense to me. Like, let's say aliens created humans.
Yeah.
They're here to check up on us.
Yeah, they're
It's not that
Petri dish.
crazy of a thing, you
No.
know?
Especially if like they're an interplanetary species.
Right?
Yeah.
They probably have seeded a couple other places.
We're basically the chia pet.
yeah, it's not like that crazy of a thing to think about.
No,
Right?
not at all. Not at all.
We're going deep into
We're
that.
going deep. Can we talk about the X-Files real quick?
I was doubting Sam at first, but he's really
Sam's been on point tonight.
When does Fox? All right, so Fox was purchased by Disney.
Correct. Correct.
How come they have not done a revamp?
That's
Well,
what
they
I'm
did a
saying.
revamp like 3 years ago.
But with the original cast, but like now is the prime time. Like everybody's all
know,
about the
I
UFOs. Like
know.
spin off. Let's
Get
go.
Jessica Chastain as Scully.
Oh,
yeah.
who'd be Mulder?
I don't know. That's a great
I'm a
question.
Ryan
huge
Reynolds.
fan of Jessica
Ooh,
Chastain.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, she's,
Dude,
I tried to pick the like
Can I
biggest,
just
hottest
say how
redhead
big of a huge fan I am of her?
of Jessica
Jessica
Chastain.
Chastain. I'm 1,000% with you.
Jessica Chastain
I've
and
already
Ryan
different
Reynolds.
pale
Great
gingers, you know, like who's trying to think the one from The Big Lebowski.
I think
Oh,
you,
You know what I'm talking about?
I think you just said
Julianne
David Duchovny,
Moore.
actually.
Oh, Julianne
I think-
Moore.
It puts the lotion on itself. That was Julianne Moore, right?
No.
But she was in the was
Yeah.
in the later
That
one.
was Jodie Foster.
Oh yeah, it was.
But didn't Julianne Moore do the like third one?
I
or
think so.
something?
Right, right,
It
yeah.
was.
So you're
Jodie
not- you're not
Foster.
off track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I think
Jodie
you should just
Foster.
have David Duchovny. He can still he
He can still do it,
chops. He
but
can do it.
I gotta get a
That dude
hotter,
stays in
younger
great
chick
shape
in.
too, right?
David Duchovny and Jessica Chastain. Yeah.
I-
They won't
I
even.
watch that.
They'll be like,
That's perfect.
this is Scully, and they won't talk about how it's just a totally different actress.
It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Nobody will ask those questions. It's Hollywood. They don't ask any
Well, do you
questions.
remember the reboot? They tried to pull that off. They had like these two new investigators, and one of them had red hair.
Exactly. Nobody knew the difference.
And everybody was like, "Who are these two?"
But didn't they do? They did a. So first off,
Two.
my wife and I, we did watch all of the original X Files.
Same.
But they did a reboot like a couple years ago, right? They did,
Twice.
they did 2 seasons, right?
Yep.
Or they did, yeah. I
What
remember
sucked?
that.
What sucked was the first season was not great, and they tried to squeeze too much into 6 episodes. And then the second time they brought it back, they did 12 episodes, and it felt more like the original. But by that point, people were too like pissed off.
Watch the
Yeah,
X
I know, me
Files.
too.
It's time for a rewatch.
The last season, man, was great, but
The
by that
movies are
point-
good too.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, the second one.
Second
yeah,
was.
the second
I
one's a
went to
little
the
weird.
midnight premiere
Yeah,
of that
first
one.
one's good.
And I was like, "What?
Is that one where they're in the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird there.
Yeah, what's his name? The Scottish comedian who I love.
Yeah. I
But
forgot
yeah,
about that.
reboot that shit right now.
What's your favorite like go-to things to watch regarding aliens?
I feel like there's a lot of good documentaries out right now. There's one that just came out by this director named James Fox. It's really good, called The Phenomenon. It's really good.
Is it on any streaming service?
Yeah, I think I want to say it's on Amazon Prime.
It's called The Phenomenon.
Yeah.
All right, my wife, take notes. We'll watch that.
That one's really good.
Phenomenon.
Okay, Amazon Prime. Okay, potentially.
I think there's another guy, Stephen Greer, who
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
He's
Dr.
interesting,
Stephen
dude.
Greer.
I can hang with him until he starts meditating aliens into existence.
Sometimes I think he's full of shit.
Yeah.
But that's another one where it's like, this guy is an emergency room physician.
Right.
He clearly is smart. He went to medical school.
They
He
can
was.
still be full of shit.
I know, that's the thing. And
Well,
and then I was with
yeah.
him, and then he started saying some weird shit. I'm like, okay. Even Rogan thinks you're a little weird.
It was the meditation out of the desert. It's like, let's meditate till the aliens show up. I'm
yeah.
like,
But
what?
does he have a show?
So he has a couple documentaries. There's one called, I think it's called The Day Before Disclosure. And so, like, to his credit, like wherever you stand on him, because I'm not real sure either.
Yeah.
He does have the ability to pull a lot of other credible former military, former government people together. So they actually did this big kind of fake congressional hearing thing. They tried to get Congress to do it. Congress is like, nah. And then they did one anyway. So they brought in all these guys who used to work. So like, there was like a guy who worked on one of the nuclear silos who was like, yeah, everything shut down and we freaked out and didn't know what was going on. And a UFO was basically shooting a beam into our nuclear silo. So they had all these like guys like that they got together. And so to his credit, he got a ton of really credible witnesses together in one place. And they all basically just testified to the experiences that they had. So yeah, I don't know. Like anytime I'm with you, anytime he starts going off on a tangent about this is what the aliens want, I'm like, how do you know? Like, come on.
Who do you think is like the most credible person to listen to about this stuff?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Is it Jeremy Corbell?
He's so biased.
And it's hard not to get excited, and I get that. Because
But
no one should listen to me either in that regard, because I want them to be aliens,
But he's
Yeah,
biased.
but you're at least like me. You're taking a calculated, logical approach to it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's weigh what we see, what we know against what's probable.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think you just got to look at all the military footage that's been released.
That is the credible thing. I don't like
That's
the
all you can do.
that's all. It's just
Whether you think it's aliens or not, that's fine.
But then it's like, well, what is it?
right, exactly.
I wanna know.
But at least the government is saying
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. That's even scarier though.
Yeah.
God damn. We spend $1 trillion on our military. They can't figure it out.
Right. I mean, what do you think? Because I've thought about this too. It's like, what is the motivation like to the Navy all of a sudden, after decades of denial, saying like, yeah, that's real. We don't know what it is.
I think it's money.
Do you think so?
It's everything comes down to money.
That's a great point.
Everything comes down to money.
What
you mean in terms of like
get
getting
funding.
more funding?
Yeah.
Everything comes
Dude,
down to
that's
money.
a good point.
No, because
Andy just killed our dreams just now.
Well,
It's
I
not
know, but
aliens
no,
at all.
there's another thing that another way you could spin it in that they want to completely destigmatize this because they know that there have been probably tons of instances of this happening where people haven't talked about it, and they don't want that to happen.
Oh God, there's one I forgot to tell you about.
Let's hear it.
There was an incident where UFOs literally flew over the White House.
What?
Yeah, they scrambled jets.
Is there anything?
Google that.
When did it happen?
I don't remember.
Sam's
watching a
pulling out a
Halloween
clip of the
Get it,
Halloween
Sam.
special from The Simpsons over there.
You are off topic, Sam.
Wait, when was this?
See, that's not. I don't remember. He's gonna have to
Sam,
pull it up,
Google
but-
UFOs over White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jets scrambled.
Oh yeah.
Throw that in there.
Real scrambly.
Do we have a year on this?
No.
We do not. Just it's the only time I believe it's ever happened. So you should pull up whatever. That one I don't know as much about, but I was like, wait, what? It was in
Pentagon. Oh, okay.
I can't see anything. Hold on.
I got a bunch of ad blocks on there, Sam. It's not making your job any easier. All these sites are like, please disable your ad block.
I don't. I'm gonna say that it's probably long enough ago to the point where there's probably
no
video
like,
footage.
yeah.
But you can probably Google.
So you
that.
think the Navy's making all this shit up to get some money?
No. They're not making it up. I'm just saying it's being popularized for funding. I don't think anybody's making it up.
I think that's very, very feasible.
that makes a lot of sense?
That makes a lot.
Yeah.
Sam, put that on the screen.
Wait, that wasn't a documentary?
Sam found the first credible footage.
You
of
mean to tell me
UFOs.
Bill Pullman was not president? Oh man!
Hey, great movie.
Next thing you're going to tell me is that Will Smith
Great
isn't an
movie.
actual hero.
Great movie.
How dare you?
I buy. So I don't know. I also buy the fact that I think the military knows this is happening more than they're getting a record of, and by
Well,
coming out and saying it, I
Christopher
think.
Mellon.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. Like politicians can get popular and boost their numbers from this too.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And by the way, this is one of the few bipartisan topics
This
as
is
well.
true.
Yeah.
What did
for some-
Reagan say?
For some reason, the Republicans seem to really be digging
Well,
into this.
they're
though.
playing the defense card.
It's a fair point.
I know.
I think it's a fair point.
It's absolutely a fair point.
Well, did you guys hear?
Put that on the
Wait,
screen.
who is that?
Put that on the screen.
Is that a young Hillary
It's
Clinton?
Hillary
What is that?
Clinton.
Oh my God! Oh no! they're not.
See, this
they're
kind
not
of shit happens.
They're not suggesting that's Chelsea, are they?
She adopted it.
Oh no.
Space creature survived UFO crash in Arkansas. Yeah, this is the problem with all this shit. Is there's this kind of stuff.
Well, and if the military, if this shit is real and the military like denied it and put out misinformation for decades, then the waters are so muddied right now.
I know.
It's hard to say what's real and what's not. And the sad fact of the matter is that we we have to take every video to a professional to see if it's been doctored.
I know, man. I know. It's insane.
Like the Utah drone footage, that was a similar thing that they had to take to some experts.
I don't know what this is. What is this?
It was kind of cool. Like it's hard to say what it is. It's hard to say.
Sam, Utah drone footage. Stop Googling pictures of Trump and aliens.
What if Bernie?
Dude, put that on the screen.
That's so good. Now that should be a t-shirt.
All right, wait. What is this? Okay, but what is this Utah drone footage? Is this something we can Google? Can we see it?
You should be able to, yeah.
Sam,
Should be
can you Google that?
So there's a drone cameraman who was just like had this thing running.
From a drone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had just had this camera running for a while, and he went back to review the footage, and there's this looks like a white disc that just goes and just shoots through the camera frame at like this insane speed. So the show that I was watching, they took it to some guys to analyze it.
Here we
Like,
go.
Is this
Got
bullshit?
it.
Sam, is this on the screen?
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Sam. Okay. This is definitely drone.
Boom.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No.
See, I get
missed
this
it.
shit in my drone
Watch.
though.
They
True
should-
story.
Watch this.
So they have the
Watch
slowed
this.
down version.
They'll probably
Right
say-
there.
Boom.
Dude,
I missed it.
Dude, I get that in my drone though.
Let
Do you
me
really?
slow
Yeah,
it
it's
down
bugs.
here.
I'm serious.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
I'm serious.
Yeah, slow that thing down.
I missed it.
We need to
No,
see the
it's
flight
super
path.
fast.
All right. Watch this.
No, I'm serious. I could pull up drone footage where I get this all the time.
Okay. It's slowed down.
Now we gotta like awkwardly watch.
Yeah. Where is it?
There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That didn't
that
look.
was
Oh wait, Sam, play that
fast.
back again. Okay, that didn't look like a bug.
Well,
but like that's so small.
I know.
That is so small.
See, that's the thing, though. It's like, what the hell is it, though?
but they have it labeled right. Unidentified flying
See,
object.
here's the thing though. That is like the size of a small bird.
Right, like a frisbee.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one.
Hey, maybe there's an ultimate team out there. We should just see it right off camera.
Right. Is there more to that, Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, is there? I've only seen that footage. Just
Oh, there it is.
What is that thing? It's out there.
That's a bird.
That's a bird.
That's a fast ass bird.
That's a fast, and the
Yeah.
bird's flying high. Okay, yeah. I mean, if that is
not
that
that
first off,
high.
that definitely looks like drone footage.
Yeah.
And if it's that big on the screen though, it's literally like the size of a fist in real life. Like it's
Yeah.
not big, but it's definitely moving fast. It doesn't look like an insect, like I said earlier, because I get that. Like, yeah,
does
that's.
kinda-
It looks like a bird.
Looks like a 6-foot turkey.
I think it's Hillary Clinton's adopted alien baby.
Could be that too.
quite possible. Yeah. What other avenues do you want to explore?
I don't know.
We've
This has been
covered
good.
Bigfoot.
No, this has been good. We've been going for 2 hours.
We really.
Yeah, it goes super fast. Is there anything else pertinent do you want to talk about?
What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. Okay, so what do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think happens the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, 5 to 10 years.
I was thinking like 30, 60 days.
Okay.
Getting this.
Okay, so what do you
report.
think's going to come out later this month?
I think the document drop is going to be anticlimactic.
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
I
It's
think
gonna be.
there's
It's
no
gonna
way.
be. Yep. We don't know what those videos from those Navy fighters are.
Do you think
Yeah.
they're going to release more videos and pictures and stuff we haven't seen?
I think we will see more videos. I don't know that they'll release it willingly, but I think that they'll continue to leak them. So
Okay.
I think we'll definitely see more. Like Christopher Mellon, who,
Yeah, I listened to that one.
he straight up said there's way more shit. You guys
He was
haven't seen."
talking about one kind of like with the pilots where it like goes in between two planes or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's talking about one.
I want that one.
Because Rogan asked him, he's like, is there some video evidence that hasn't been released yet? And he talks about it. And it's like fighter
Yeah.
jet stuff where it flies like super close to them.
Well, the
what was the other pilot's name that was on the 60 Minutes interview with?
Oh, Alex Dietrich.
The female.
Yeah, Alex Dietrich.
Alex Dietrich. So she talks about how she flew down.
Yeah.
And saw it.
Oh.
In visual. She's like, yeah. She's like, we went down. Like they were above, and
man.
she like floored it down.
Yeah.
Do we have a video of what she got?
I don't know.
I don't know if there is. They haven't released it yet.
So okay, so you think nothing climactic is going to happen with this next release? I tend to agree with that statement.
I think this is certainly a step forward, though, and I think that a lot of the hardcore UFO people are going to be really disappointed. They're going to be pissed. They're like, but I don't think they should be surprised.
Yeah.
The government, there's just no way. They take baby steps. There's
Right.
no way they're going to come out and be like, yep, it's an alien.
Yeah.
But I do think, if we're looking at 5 to 10 years
That's what I
from
mean.
now,
Like, what do you think is going to happen?
I think it'll be a slow leak. I think it'll be a slow trickle, but we'll gradually learn more. And obviously, as technology advances, we all have 4K cameras in our pockets now. I think that's part of it, too. I honestly think that technology has pushed this disclosure, or whatever you want to call it, or acknowledgement along, because people are catching it more and more, and the videos will become clearer. It'll become more undeniable, whether it's our technology or alien. They're going to have to acknowledge it.
If it is our military technology, they're doing a shit job of keeping it under wraps.
I actually think it. I subscribe to the it's purposeful.
But that makes no sense. Why would they want other countries knowing what we have in any capacity?
to lead
Flex.
Yeah.
No way. That gives away any military advantage.
I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah, it
No,
does.
doesn't.
It makes
They're
everybody
still
confused.
if Russia's still flying F-15s and
Yeah, but
they're like,
it's way more advantageous for us for
agree.
them to not know we have it.
that's true.
I don't disagree with
And
you.
the military operates
It's a
based
deterrent,
on logic.
but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm
But if
not
if it
ruling
was a
out.
deterrent, we would be saying, "Hey, this is our shit."
Nah.
Yeah, right. And they're not.
All right. Well,
I'm shooting down both of these arguments right now.
No.
Here's
maybe
what's
that's
weird
their way
though.
of saying it.
I don't completely disagree with either arguments. The problem though is that we're not getting any no one's tipping their hand. Like the Russians aren't like, yeah, we don't know what it is. Everybody's just kind of like claiming that they have no idea what it
Yeah.
is. So it's like, I don't know. We're in a very weird.
Do you think 20 years from now we know aliens exist?
I hope so. I think so.
You think?
we have to. 20
I
years
think
from now?
so.
20 years.
Yeah.
You got me right here.
And what is that going to do?
My 62nd birthday.
What is that going to do to the stock market?
Oh, dude. Alien technology?
No.
Well, Tesla's going to go straight up. My Tesla stock is awful right now. So.
I actually think if all of a sudden the government's like aliens exist, the stock market would crash instantly.
Do you think so?
Yeah. There'd be panic and sell off.
There'd be like one hedge fund that would be like investing in certain like things.
But
No,
if aliens take
I'm
over,
totally
what good is your
cool with
money?
all that.
It's
though.
true. That's
know?
why people would sell. They want their money.
But what are you going to do with it once
But there'd be
aliens
no
take over?
money.
That's true. Space cash.
Yeah, do aliens use debit cards? That's what I want to know.
You get the space cash. All right. Okay, let's wrap this up. Andy was telling me you're also a conspiracy theory guy.
Oh, I love a good
Okay,
conspiracy
I want to
theory.
do a whole podcast on
No,
that.
we're gonna do the DB Cooper.
Oh, I got a guest coming on we're gonna do an episode on DB Cooper.
Okay, so I want you to
and
come.
serial killers. I'm doing Zodiac and Jack the Ripper.
So I want you to come back to do that. But,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So first off, thank you so much for talking to us about
Oh,
this. This was super fun.
thanks for
Okay.
having me, guys.
Please say the name of your podcast again. People can check them out.
So if you want to get weird with me,
They do.
From the Void, the first, I think the first 3 episodes, first 4 episodes.
And you got the New York Times guy in one of these episodes.
Already
Okay.
interviewed him. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got Ralph Blumenthal. I've got a guy who's been working for MUFON as a field investigator since '86, I think. Who seems to know a lot about what's going on. I've got a couple people. So I think the first 4 episodes are aliens. We're doing unsolved serial killers. We're doing mysterious manuscripts. We're doing all sorts of weird stuff. Near-death experiences. So if you want to get weird,
I have
the
the
Void.
Twitter. I have the Twitter for this in the comments, or sorry, in the description. Then your other podcast.
The Deconstructionist. So if you wanna get in some spirituality, interviewed all sorts of people from scientists to biblical experts, scholars.
That's cool.
To musicians. So
You
yeah.
need to do it live.
Oh god.
He's done it live.
Agreed.
You do? You do them live?
We did. Well, we
You
did.
did the one in Colorado, didn't you?
We did a live event.
Oh, okay.
but we didn't stream
Okay.
it. We didn't stream it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you recorded it live, but it didn't like air live.
Right,
Okay.
right.
That counts.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
counts.
yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for
Hey,
coming and talking.
thanks
This
for
is super fun.
Yeah, totally.
We'll bring it back to do conspiracy
we're gonna do a
theories.
conspiracy segment.
Are we gonna do a Bigfoot one? You guys are the outdoors
We've
guys.
done a Bigfoot one, dude. We had a legitimate Bigfoot
I know you interviewed
scientist
a guy.
on here.
Yeah.
You should have him on your From the Void. He's a good dude.
Totally.
He'll do it.
Yeah. Sam, good job over there, pal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Any closing thoughts?
No, we're going out this weekend.
We're going out.
We are going out.
Assuming the weather looks good tomorrow.
Yes.
We're gonna just hold that assumption.
Yeah.
If Dr. Squatch is listening, I think you should sponsor this podcast.
Yes.
It just makes too much sense.
I know, right?
We
It does
can-
make sense.
I'm wearing their deodorant right now, and I've lathered my body in their soaps, and I smell great.
All right, everybody. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, Sam.
Good Sam.
I love it, Sam. All right, Sam, you got to go to the stream tab and click end stream. Far left tab. No, sorry, the X-Files is the far left tab. I don't know. I'll get up and
Yeah,
do it.
I know he's got it in stream.